early light was so proudly we hailed, and the twilight has gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular upon spurs singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands, part of the Chief Sports Network, and proud partners of On3, Go Gamecocks.
He'll be fine on the mountain.
That's a win! Ball is way out of here. 5 consecutive home runs for Carolina. It is good. It's gone. He's in. Touchdown. Williams with a throw to the plate. He's going to score. It's a walk-off. Touchdown, South Carolina.
All right, greetings and good morning. Welcome aboard and welcome home. Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show presented by our friends at Resto Pros. There when you need them. Resto Pros of the Midlands. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. And our buddies at the West Law Firm, you can find them at westlawfirmsc.com as well. Visit westlawfirmsc.com. Over 80 years of protecting the great people in this state. I'm back, at least for a little bit. Mike Morgan is in. Preston Thorne is in here in about 15 minutes or so. JC and Phil are coming up here at the top of hour number 2 as well. We are 11 days until South Carolina football plays this sport at Williams-Brice Stadium Saturday, September the 5th against Kent State. Obviously, plenty of that will be in here today. Mike will drive us around the SEC in a JT's Kia Telluride, to be a little bit more specific. We've got a long road trip, so we got to make sure we got plenty of space in the trunk, and should be a fun and super Tuesday. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. I'm healthy, so I guess I have a leg up on that. I can be thankful for that. Hope you're drinking some hot tea and gargling down some chicken soup and everything else you need to get better.
Yeah, it's hit me over the weekend like a ton of bricks, but it's all good. You know, you got to get off the availability report by Thursday, so I figured I'll just get back in the seat and keep practicing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be listed as out
No.
come the weekend or anything like that. But
Now you could be Dr. Paycheck at that point.
yeah, I can't.
Dock some of that NIL money.
Can't afford that. Can't afford that right now. All right, it is 10:05. It's not lengthy, but we do have one. It's a Gamecock report that's presented by our friends at Gamecock Traditions.
What's going on in Gamecock Country? It's the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions on the morning show. Visit GamecockTraditions.com or in Lexington and get your gear and apparel today.
Well, Mike, let's start with this. This is not a South Carolina related thing, although it could eventually trickle down to South Carolina by way of the SEC. But the Big Ten has now passed a rule that won't allow players from the NFL to return to college football in the last half hour or so. So here we are once again. One of between the SEC and the Big Ten, generally one of the two makes the call on some of the biggest items in college sports. The Big Ten made the first one on this. The SEC issued a statement last night basically saying, well, we don't support it, but they didn't say anything about putting in legislation to stop it either. It looks like the Big Ten is going to take this a step further. It says, oh, no, if you've gone to the NFL, you ain't coming back to play in this league. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, Pete Thamel reporting that 30 minutes ago. Kudos to him. Our buddy on College Football Forever, which ran this morning. Appreciate those that tuned in. You can still catch it. It's evergreen. He took a bit of a pot shot. You know, he's had a little bit of a back and forth with Greg Sankey. That goes back to the Feinbaum show, and we'll have him tell the story when he's on next. But he basically said that's what real leadership looks like. The SEC, and I'll go over this in the drive, did issue a statement yesterday, a 3-paragraph statement basically saying this is not good. We prefer you don't do it.
Yeah.
But there was no teeth in it. There was no sanctions. There was no, you better not do it or else. So the Big Ten went ahead and said, yeah, you better not do it or else. I would not be surprised if the SEC doesn't. Well, it's a little complicated because LSU has already done it twice.
Right.
So what are you going to do now? You're going to make LSU cut those players. Yeah. So to my knowledge, the Big Ten didn't have a guy, Jamie, that had signed out of NFL training camp with a Big Ten school. So they put the rule in, doesn't affect anybody. This would affect LSU if the SEC followed suit. So I'd be very curious to see how they handle it.
It needs to be in place. I mean, this is everything that Nick Saban warned about years ago, and it's once again all coming true.
We've jumped the shark, Jamie. We are now. I mean, what we're doing is almost embarrassing. It really is. I realize there are some people that could care less about college sports as a whole. It's all about everything is through the scope of the athletes are victims and whatnot. The athletes are not victims. They're making a lot of money.
Right.
Almost everybody is eligible. They cruise to graduation and they basically use the particular college as a training camp for the NFL. And when I say use, I don't mean like it's a two-way street. Colleges have always benefited as well with the cash register. But when we start taking guys that, remember, when you go to training camp, you do make money. It's not a lot of money, but you do get paid. It's not per diem. We're talking like thousands of dollars. And so we now have basically said, this is a semi-pro organization. The best joke I heard in the last 24 hours, somebody said, why don't we just make college athletes eligible for 20 years and make the NFL the senior tour?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't be happy about that, would they?
The NFL?
Yeah. I mean,
no, the NFL would not. They would take away from the NFL product.
The NFL would get involved real quick, and they'd be like, "Oh, wait a second here. No, we're not going. You're not going to diminish what we're doing." You know,
no.
They'd get all this straightened out. You need Congress involved. Well, we'll figure that part out. You just leave it to us, please.
NFL always finds a way to get what they want.
Yeah, this is it's. I mean, you know, They're tearing into the fabric of college athletics, which was at one point in time the thickest fabric in America, but it's deteriorating quickly. I tell you what, speaking of tear, the men's soccer team is on a tear. They've only played 2 games, but they've scored 8 goals. That's pretty good in this sport. Carolina is 2-0, 4-0. They beat USC Upstate last night in front of over 5,000 fans at Stone Stadium. And that comes off of the 4-1 victory last week down in Jacksonville. So now they're sitting here undefeated with 8 goals in their pocket, and they host that team in the Upstate on Friday. My understanding is last week when the women hosted Clemson, I know they set the attendance record of 7,004 fans, I think is what it was. They want to break that record. So if you're a student or you know students or you're just a fan, you just like this sport, you just can't wait to get out and watch the Gamecocks do something, there you go. Get you a ticket and go watch a couple of rivals play for another Palmetto Series point Friday night at Stone Stadium in Columbia. Speaking of 4 goals, the ladies did it too. They're 3-1 now. They routed Furman yesterday, 4-0. Mike, guess where they're going next? You can guess any school in the country. Any school in the country.
Sacramento State.
Hey, you know what? You're headed in the right direction. Laramie, Wyoming. They're going to see the
Even
Cowboys.
better.
The Cowgirls. The Cowgirls. They will play, and I texted my father-in-law this morning. I said, go over there tomorrow night and watch the Gamecocks play. They'll play Wyoming tomorrow. And I've been to that soccer field. It's I'll tell you what now, better be careful because running at that elevation up there is tough. The last time the men's basketball team went out there, they got beat under Frank Martin a few years ago. It's hard to breathe out west if you haven't been out there for a couple of days getting acclimated. So we'll see how it all works out. But that's pretty cool. That's a good little road trip. Carolina football is practicing. They got another hour and 35 minutes on the field this morning. It's their 15th practice at camp. Players will meet with the media today at noon. Shane Beamer will meet with the media today at 1 o'clock. And a reminder for all of you that just can't wait to hear, could you turn your radio down, please, from Todd Ellis? On Thursday night, Carolina Calls is back on the air from Backstreet's Grill just outside of 5 Points in Columbia. Wonderful food. It's a great menu. They do a wonderful job. And hat tip to South Carolina for still taking phone calls because I think they're one of the few that actually does. At least that I'm aware of. But that begins on Thursday night. Speaking of Carolina football, and I don't want to I'm sure Mike's going to go over this. I know y'all hit on it yesterday. I wasn't here. I'm sure you're going to go back over it, so I don't want to spoil it. But there sure are a lot of first-year starting quarterbacks on South Carolina's schedule this season. Like a lot.
Ton. Yeah.
And, I'll be curious. They're talented kids, and they've all got a good story to sell. But we'll be curious to see what some of them look like early and certainly what some of them look like late.
It's pretty amazing. There were 5 quarterback battles, and the last one, this will be in the drive as well, Vanderbilt has announced their starter.
Yes.
And it is Blake Burlowitz, so that's the one I missed. I thought they'd go Curtis off the top. Maybe he gets the job.
I saw that they said Curtis is playing in the game.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting, you know.
I still say by year's end, Curtis is your starter in Nashville, but we'll see.
I think you're right. I don't even know if it gets that far.
But what's amazing is of the battles, Florida, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, and Vanderbilt, 4 of the 5 are Carolina opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Just an interesting FYI.
Well, when you include Clemson, a total of 7. A couple of these guys have started a game, but they have not been full-time starters. There are a total of 7 new starting quarterbacks on South Carolina's schedule. And then you include the fact that Kentucky's got a new head coach. Arkansas's got a new head coach. Florida's got a new head coach. I'm missing one here. Who else is on South Carolina's schedule?
That has a new head coach?
No, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but there's some new offensive coordinators also in that in that mixed. And Tennessee has a new DC. Knowles came from Penn State to go to Knoxville because they were wretched on defense last year.
No, there's a lot. I mean, Clemson's got a new offensive coordinator. Arkansas clearly does because they got a new staff.
I'm fascinated.
A&M. All of them do.
Yeah. I'm fascinated. Chad Morris 2.0. You could not have done a worse job as a head coach in 2 years at Arkansas if you were on the take. Like if gamblers got to you and you owed them a debt and you said, okay, I will tank every game and look disgustingly bad doing it. That's how bad Chad Morris was at Arkansas.
Yeah.
But he did good work for a while for Dabo as the OC. So how does this shape? Some guys are just not meant to be head coaches. Great as coordinators, not great as head coaches. Does it really make a big difference at Clemson with Chad Morris?
I think that's a question that is probably not being asked enough, Mike. It's been, I don't want to call it under the radar, but it's a fascinating question. It's a fascinating scenario.
Well, because people are just obsessed with Dabo, and so you don't talk about Clemson's coordinators. Conversely, the story for Carolina, like the national guys, even they're not talking about Shane. They're all it's all Kendall Briles.
Right.
A lot of teams made OC changes, including about a half a dozen in the SEC. And you don't hear nearly as much because the face of the program is still the head coach and then the quarterback, and then you just hope the OC doesn't screw it up very often. But yeah, Chad Morris that's either going to be like one of the great redemption stories. I think whatever you have is contagious. One of the great redemption stories of the year in college football, or it's going to be, it's just passed Dabo by, and it doesn't matter what moves he makes. Clemson will never be a factor nationally again. Not under Dabo. And I'm not predicting that. I honestly don't know. I don't know what to expect out of Clemson. I have no idea.
I'm with you. I mean, you would like to think they're talented enough in that league to certainly contend, but I don't know what to think. I think we're all yeah. Well, that's it. That's all I've got. It's 10-17. Gamecock Traditions is really just phenomenal. I mean, they've I don't want to say they've stepped up their game because that would mean that they really weren't playing well or something before Nike, but they have added to what was already just a tremendous place to shop. If you haven't seen it, there's like a whole Nike store within the store. It's crazy. GamecockTraditions.com. You can order it and have it sent to your home as well. Gamecock Traditions up there in the Midlands. All right, so it's 10-17, and we do have Preston Thorne coming up. I've got a kind of a hard hitting question right out of the gate. You're going to love this because it falls in line with something that you've been pretty adamant about as it pertains to Carolina football. I'm not going to hint at anything, but we're going to put PT on the spot and coming up here in just a minute as well. So this will be fun. I'm glad to be back and see how long my throat lasts.
I look forward to it. If you if you need a TO, you've got able bodies ready to carry some of the extra workload today. Tell you who's going to carry the workload for all your real estate needs. It's Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty. Renee Fryer, so good that she just stays there over my left shoulder. Do you believe that? I mean, it's my muse, Renee Fryer is. She's been doing it for a long time in South Carolina and abroad, but South Carolina is definitely her specialty, and so is Home Advantage Realty. Whether you're in Charleston, Greenville, Columbia, or anywhere in between, a simple phone call will have your advantage on your side. That's Renee Fryer, phone number off my right shoulder, although it's backwards. This is a good way to challenge yourself. 803-271-4777. 803-271.
Forward on this end.
Yes, exactly. That's all that matters.
We're good.
271-4777. A good number to play in Vegas, a good number to assist you with your next real estate move.
As 10:19, we'll make a move to a timeout, and PT will be in the hot seat when we return here on the morning show.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Test ride at Electric Bikes of Charleston today. Road trip ready. Ride comfortably. Forget road fatigue. The Velotric Fold 1 Plus features our exclusive Comfort Max frame design for an effortless, upright riding posture and a low step through. With an adjustable seat and stem, you'll be feeling great and ready for the next campsite adventure. Your back will thank you. Visit Electric Bikes of Charleston. ElectricBikesCharleston.com.
You know, in Gamecock country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Mike here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
Jeffrey's got space and a touchdown. Can you believe it? Touchdown! He caught on traffic. Scores.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, part of the Chiefs Sports Network. It's time for Carolina football, presented by Palm Casual Outdoor Patio Furniture.
When I wake to find the solace of all we've become, I can't wait to make the promises that I've been leery of. Take me down, let me see how I'll be there in the morning when times have changed. I'll be there through the lights and all. I'll be standing like your soldiers and you told through the days when I need to be alone. I will wait for you through the rise and fall. I'll be there in the morning when times have changed. I will wait for you through the rise and fall.
It is 10:23. Welcome back inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, hour one, powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, electricbikescharleston.com. PT will probably be here in a minute because usually we're late getting to him at 10:25, and he is a to the minute type of dude. So hang tight, and then he'll get in here in just a second. The question, I tell you what, I'll go ahead and ask you the question, Mike, and I'm going to ask Preston this in just a moment here. So there's a lot of national there are a lot of national record predictions that are trickling in here as the season approaches, and South Carolina, by multiple national guys, they're getting the 7-5 treatment. They're getting the 7-5 treatment, and honestly, if South Carolina goes 7-5, because you do play 9 SEC games, and they got to beat somebody to get there. You know what I mean? You win the 2 non-cons, maybe you beat Clemson and that gives you 3, but you have to win. You're going to have to win 4 SEC games in order to get there. If you don't beat Clemson, you'll have to win 5. So they would have beat some good teams, I think, in order to eclipse that mark. But how would you take that in? 7-5, South Carolina.
Good enough would be the 2-word phrase I would use. I don't know if people are dancing in the streets. If it's a 3rd straight win in Death Valley, 7-5 could taste pretty good.
Okay.
But if it's 7-5, you beat what I think will be 3 of the worst teams in the SEC, 2 cupcakes at the beginning of the season. There's 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the beef?
Yeah.
Right. Good enough. Won't be a turbulent offseason, but I just think this team and this roster is and should be capable of more.
Well, and that's why I asked you, because you have mentioned multiple times like 8 and I don't know if you've actually predicted a record for South Carolina, but you looked at it and said, hey, look, this team's good enough to be at least 8-4.
100%. And I stand by that. That doesn't mean I'm saying they will. A lot will depend on a number of things. And as always, it seems like it reverts back to the offensive side of the ball. I'm okay with defense. I think the defense, quite frankly, can play better than it did a year ago. I don't think you would have squandered the Texas A&M game in the second half with the 2024 defense, but you did with 2025. Some of the performances last year, it was a little uneven for me. For Clayton White, who we hold in high regard, I think it'll take a step forward. And the offense can't possibly take a step backwards. So if you add all that up, I mean, to me, that should be 8 wins on the schedule. Look, you're not going to have 3 first-round draft picks potentially, and I know some would say 4. Let's just stay with 3 for now. You're not going to have that every year. You're not going to have a 3-year starter who grew up in your program. You might not see that again for 30 years. I mean, we don't know. You're not going to have at least we know the wide receiving group is deep. We don't know how good it is yet. We know it's deep. There's no guarantee that this team doesn't take a step backward in 2027. When you consider what's going out the door after 2026. So I think it's okay for a lot of fans to say, if not now, when?
We'll see what Preston thinks about it. He's waiting in the wings, PT. There he is. What's up, man? Fresh out of hair and makeup. Yeah.
Exactly. Throw on a hat and we're good.
The classic Lou Holtz Carolina football hat. There's just nothing better than that.
Hey, Lou was honored yesterday in Birmingham, inducted into that Hall of Fame or whatever it is there. And it was him and Mac Brown. And Skip spoke at the podium. So, Preston, I know you certainly are very familiar with that family. And I just want to say congratulations again to Lou. As more and more time goes by, the more and more I respect what Lou did. Lou, he was eccentric. He was weird. I'm not gonna lie. But I certainly have a lot of respect for what he meant to college football and what he did at Carolina. So, and you know that better than anybody, PT.
Yeah, Mike, I think, yes, he was eccentric. Yes, he was outsized character. But much like you, I think as I've gotten older, I starting to maybe at least appreciate some of those ways that he had. And even further than that, a lot of the things that he was trying to teach us and tell us, it was wasted on my 19-year-old years. But now that I'm a lot older, I understand a little bit more of it. So like a lot of good coaches, those things, the lessons kind of continue on. But yes, he was an excellent coach, and Skip was really, not to get in the back in my day machine, but some of those, just thinking about some of those offensive innovations that Skip was running, starting to run a lot of that gun stuff that he was running. We had to make up for what we didn't have in talent. We made up with a lot in scheme, and Skip and Charlie really had some. We were really ahead of the curve on a lot of offensive and defensive things at the time.
That's such a great point. That's really such a great point. It makes you wonder how Coach Holtz, if he was in his prime coaching today, how he would handle the atmosphere of college athletics right now. Like, I would love to call Coach Holtz and say, hey, Coach, LSU is signing a couple of kids who just came from the NFL. What do you think about that?
I'm sure
you'd be like Fred Sanford. I'm having a big one. I'm going to join you, Elizabeth.
There'd be some 4-letter words, and you'd have to bleep a lot of it out, and you'd move on. But he would give you an opinion.
For sure. You never had to guess where you stood with Coach. The only problem was from day to day that might change very greatly. But every time you knew where you were. But day to day it might be different.
That's great. That's okay. You know what? I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that, especially in today's world. Okay, so I just asked Mike this question, and I know you've seen it. Y'all may have been talking about it. I haven't checked in. I'm just going to be honest with you. I haven't checked in on the early game in a while with kids having to be at school at 7:15. But there are a lot of national guys who are submitting their record predictions, which mean nothing. But a lot of them are pegging the Gamecocks as a 7-win team, which obviously is going to get them back into the postseason. What would you're talking about a 7-5 football team here, regardless of where the 7 wins come from. How would you view that?
I believe this is the Rorschach test to end them all, man, because
nice.
I think that's the absolute line, and anybody who has a strong take either way, as opposed to the program going in the right direction or we need to move a different direction at 7 wins, I think it would be more about like how those wins came. For me specifically, I think a lot of those national pundits have us at 7 wins with us beating Clemson. I think I might be able to stomach that. I'll be able to move forward because obviously I do think the program is in a much better place than it was. But I don't ever want to get stuck in the spot of saying, like, maybe we can't do better, or is this the limit for what we are? And I agree with a lot of things that Mike was saying last segment, man. We have there are a bunch of things that are coming together right now, and this is the only time we've ever had it, and it may be the only time ever in the future. And so I lean towards what Mike was saying, like, if not now, then when. And I'm not saying national championship, but I am thinking 9, 10, really pushing the college football envelope just because of all the factors that Mike laid out. I'll lay them out again. We have a number one. This is the way I've been laying it out on the program. The most important person on the football field is the quarterback. We got a projected first rounder there. The second most important person on the football field is the guy that chases the quarterback. We got a projected first rounder there. The third most important guy is a guy that protects the quarterback from being chased by their second round guy. And we kind of have a first rounder guy there. So the talent level is at a spot where it's never really been in this program. And I kind of agree with Mike. And I don't know if Mike was speaking for himself or speaking for himself for other folks, but
for me,
I do have a feeling of, like, if not now, then when does it happen?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think 8 wins is too much to ask out of that for all those reasons.
I don't think so.
I think, Preston, the quote unquote national is in the 7-5 camp. But it's so funny because I was talking about this earlier today. They all hedge their bets. It's a lot of, Carolina somewhere around 9th in the SEC. But don't be surprised if they do this.
Sure.
Yeah, Lenora Sellers, he's probably somewhere around 6, 7 in the SEC, but he's got first-round talent, and don't be surprised if so everybody is like preparing you for, I told you Carolina could be a surprise team, because the ingredients are there. It's undeniable. The ingredients are there. And it's not just, because I don't just look at strengths. I look at who has the fewest weaknesses. I mean, that's what made Indiana so good last year in a lot of respects. They didn't have a weakness. Like, they just did everything well. Their defense played well. Their offense played well. Their special teams played well. They played smart. They didn't have penalties on the offensive line hardly ever. It's like a news flash if somebody jumped early or held. And I know we're all kind of in limbo on the O-line, but they addressed it. Now, whether or not it translates on the field, we don't know. But they did address the offensive line needs, went out and got a top-notch tackle, went out and got other players, went out and got depth, went out and got experience. So, like, what are the gaping holes on this Carolina team compared to others where we knew, oh, yeah, they're going to be real vulnerable in that spot?
And that's a great point. And I love that idea of, hey, man, fans don't want to hear this, but Shane and company did everything that we asked them to do in the offseason as far as addressing the major issues. And as you stated, the offense will not be worse. I can go on a limb and say that, right? The offense will not be worse. And I would even probably go a step further and say that based on history, the offense will be good. And what you say was, go ahead.
I'm going to take it a step higher, Preston. The offense should be better than it was in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's an easy statement to make also, because until we really caught fire at the end, it was a little touch and go.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Also.
It's real easy to forget this on a 9-win team, but that offense was not great at all. It had a couple of banner moments, but the struggle to get to 20 points was a real thing, even in 2024 against quality opponents. I think this offense could be and should be the best that Shane has had in 6 years. So if the defense holds court and the offense is the best that Shane's had, is 8-4 really unrealistic?
No.
And again, I love how you change the word from could be to should be. And I think this is the reason I'm saying this is more out of a respect for Shane, because I do think if Shane has the right ingredients, he can go win, but also to raise our level of expectation up as a fan base. And we have all the talent, all the excuses that we've ever had. They're not really there anymore. And so maybe we just have to look in the mirror and figure out if we're going to get this thing done now, or if not, then what is it going to be?
Right.
Well, I think y'all brought up a great point too. There's been a lot of times around here, pretty much every year, where you ask a question and you don't really have an answer for it as it pertains to the personnel on the football team. Well, who's going to play here, or what are they going to do there? And we're all kind of scratching our heads. And somebody's got to play. Somebody's going to have to do it. The issues other than the kicking issue, and that is a concern for me. I know that Coach Beamer told me last week that it's because they've been kicking well and not because they haven't. Yeah. All right. We'll see. But, some of these other things, think about it, PT. I mean, all the stuff that, my colleagues and I are writing about now. We're writing about who are the backups at corner. That's an okay problem to have going into the season. I don't feel comfortable with the experience at corner backing up the guys that I think are all SEC corners. Cool. I've got two. We're going to start 2 linebackers, but we got 3. Well, what's your concern there? Well, who's going to back those guys up? Well, who's not concerned about that? Every head coach is concerned about backups and things like that. Carolina generally is concerned about starters. And you look at the offensive line. Mike brought the offensive line up, and he's exactly right. It's the same story every year. I was talking to Stephen Flint this weekend. Stephen Flint, like every other Gamecock football player that's ever come through here, says, well, it's the same story. If the offensive line plays well, they're probably going to be fine, and if they don't, then they won't. But again, our understanding for the last 2 weeks, I think they know who they're going to start next week for what that's worth. I'm pretty positive. I know they know who they're going to start. But they've got like 5, 6, 7 scenarios. In PT, you were a defensive lineman. This is a little bit different this go around. It's not like, well, this left tackle is not playing well. Let's slide this one in there and see how he does. It's more along the lines of, this is our system, and we need to find the 5 guys who play the best together in the system. That's not generally how it is around here at South Carolina. Like, they don't even know who they are offensively half the time. That right now, this is what we do. Who can operate cohesively? And if I need to cross train and move this guy, so like they have answers to all of these issues, and it might just take some time to kind of cement some of that stuff. But you got 2 cupcakes to do it. So I'm agreeing with what Mike has been saying, and I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I think that those type teams in this league generally end up winning a lot of football games unless they have a bunch of really bad things that happen to them, and I'm not going to travel down that road right now. It's a season for optimism.
Yeah, I agree, and we was doing a little bit of traveling around the country and looking at some of the different teams, and every team has questions. Now, the degree of those questions could be different, but I made myself nervous when I looked out and I said that South Carolina's wide receiver room is better than Georgia's wide receiver room, and I didn't feel very confident saying it until I looked up and Phil Steele was saying the same thing, and some of the national pundits were saying the same thing. So Georgia's questioning what they have in the wide receiver room. Ohio State, obviously they have top tier talent. We know that, but they're asking questions about, can their O-line hold up to a specific level? Are these guys going to be able to step up? Texas with the same things. Those guys, they know they can. We know Sark can call plays. We know Arch can throw the ball. But a lot of the conversation around Texas's offensive line was that they were soft. They couldn't run. They couldn't block the run. I don't know. Everybody has questions, man, and so it's just good to be in those types of conversations and be able to have full faith conversations about our squad along with the rest of the country.
That's a great point. Which unit are you, now that we've moved through camp? Because we're getting into mock game week and game prep and all that stuff. I mean, it's all the training. It's over. They're playing ball in 11 days here. So
yeah, like I say, some folks found out whether they were on, second team or scout team. you get the notice.
You found out you found out this weekend. I mean, they knew. So what part of this football team were you maybe uncomfortable with that you are more comfortable with now? Or vice versa, if you've got something that's, hey, man, I felt good and I don't feel so good now, but generally that's not the way it works.
Well, I can answer it the second way. You already touched on it, but I want to reiterate it. I think maybe I was just putting my head in the sand about the kicking situation. And now that it's a little bit closer, I'm really like, okay, let's get an answer to this. And only because the kicker is obviously such a finicky situation with all of them. But as a player, and I'm just thinking about this from the player's perspective, you want to know who the guy is. You want to know who's going to trot out there, because let's say if whoever they send out there and he misses the first 43-yarder, you don't want immediately for everybody to start second guessing whether or not he's supposed to be the guy that's taking that kick. You want to be able to be like, oh, all right, cool. Brian Suckup missed the 43-yarder, no problem. I know he's the guy. Or Elliott Fry missed the 41-yarder, no problem. He's the guy. No, there's no worries about that. And when you have a little bit of questioning, I don't love that going into the early part of the season. So that's probably my main concern that I would have.
Did you overlap with Suckup?
No, I was right before him.
Right before him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to ask, dude kicked in the NFL for 12 years, was so good there, was so good in college. I know you're not a kicker, but if you watched him every day, if you were around him, I was just curious, what was that like? Because, man, oh man, those don't come around, but every so often, once every 20 years if you're lucky.
Man, I have a little bit of a similar story. It's for the bad guys, unfortunately. But I coached at Blythewood High School, and I coached a kid named Greg Hugel. He went on to become Greg the Leg. He broke all the records at Clemson kicking, and we had him at Blythewood, and he earned the nickname Ice Cold from the time he walked in as a ninth grader. This dude could not miss. You couldn't shake him. You couldn't rattle him. There was nothing that anybody could do. And being a high school coach, having a dude that can make a 40-yarder consistently, it was like a cheat code for us. Y'all seen high school kicking, y'all know how that goes, man. And we had a dude who was a Division I kicker, and just watching his mental makeup, and this was from the time he was a puppy as a ninth grader. You could not shake him. So when he started making kicks for Clemson in the national championship, it was not a surprise. And I guess the reason why I bring that up is we got to find out what the mental makeup of these guys are, because kickers have to be extremely tough to go in those situations and make those kicks when you're dependent on them.
Well, I mean, and you add in, the fact that you're now in a 9-game league, man. I mean, you played in this league. I mean, we watch it every year. Kicking is just so valuable. I mean, South Carolina has, there's too many to count, games that they lost because they either couldn't make a kick or weren't comfortable enough kicking it and had to kind of, strategize a different way to try to figure out how to win the game. They've won plenty of games because they've got some kicks through the upright, and obviously we see it all across the league every year. And now you get 9 of these suckers. Like they're going to have to make some kicks somewhere to win a couple of these games. It's just a matter of who it is. I would be, maybe we can I don't know, maybe I'll text Ryan and see if I can't get him on. Ryan doesn't love to do this type of stuff, but Ryan or Parker or one of those guys to come on and explain how things change when you get to school, because they recruit, they gave a scholarship to Max Kelly. They gave a scholarship to Mason Love. Max Kelly's in the competition here, but he's kind of been the kickoff specialist. Love is the punter. You know what I mean? Like, but these guys kick plenty of field goals in their time.
Yeah, but you know what? I say this about basketball a lot too. It's like nobody gets recruited to play defense.
Yeah,
that ends up becoming your role, but that's not why we recruited you out of high school. If we recruited you in basketball in high school, you scored 30 points a game. And so that's the same thing for kickers. Like, we didn't recruit you to kick off. we recruited you to kick. We need points. And so that's the role that they're going to have to step into. And I'm out of my depths in that, because that is a world that is very technical, and it's also very much tough. You have to be tough-minded in order to do that. So listen to the kickers. But I think I might have not been paying that as much attention as I needed to. And that's probably my biggest question.
It's a great question. Just for whatever it's worth, just you can take this, and I am much more comfortable with the running back position than I was probably a month ago. They got a good group. It's just a good group, and Matt Fuller is a good player, and Christian Clark is a good player, and I'll tell you what, Isaiah Gustav is a good player. I mean, they just got a good group, and the fourth guy or fifth guy in this depth chart would have been the starter, a couple of years in 2023. It's come a long way. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are happy with what they see out there.
Well, to that point, going back to Shane addressing the staff, I think we significantly upgraded at coaching at that position also.
Yeah. You know what, man? I'm glad you said that, because, Coach mentioned last week when we were talking to him about the offensive line taking on the personality of the offensive line coach, Coach Clements and Seth Smith, and he said he feels like he's seen that. Well, you think about this for a second. The secondary, we know, has the personality of Torian Gray. The defensive line, we know, has had the personality of your boy, Travian Robertson. I haven't learned as much about Deion Barnes, to be honest with you. But so I don't really want to comment there. But, the linebackers and all the work that those guys have done over the years. I know Clayton has obviously had his hands in it and in the secondary. Trey Money's technically the linebackers coach now. Kendall has really put his swagger and influence on Lenoris. Lenoris is a much more confident guy. Kendall is a very confident guy. You mentioned the running backs. Same thing with Mike Furry. It seems to me, like we've got a bunch of guys who are carrying on the personalities of their position coaches, which means if you have good position coaches, you're probably going to have pretty good units if you've recruited good players. And, again, that's a little bit more optimism for the season. So we'll see.
Well, this is the time for optimism because in 11 days, the season's going to start. So why not be optimistic now?
Yeah. The what's the kid's name? Derealist? No, not Derealist. Derealist? Yeah, he could take the opening kick 100 yards, and Williams Bryce, Heggs for the exits, and that's it. That's all she wrote. How about your Green Wave, man?
Man, listen, I am so insanely jealous of all the media that they are able to garner down there. I know some of the guys that are working. I mean, they got strobe lights, they have high definition cameras at practice, photo shoots. It's wild. They've done a really good job. Ian Raftery, Ian, we finally got a chance to bring him home. He was beating us over at Fort Dorchester for a while, so we finally got a chance to bring him home, and he's been doing an amazing job.
Well, they beat the crap out of Sumter this past weekend. I saw our guys, Rob, at Four Quarter Friday. He put out a report yesterday that when Somerville goes up to Hillcrest this weekend, they're going to play at historic Serene Stadium in downtown Greenville because of delays in the ongoing stadium turf project at the Rams home field in Simpsonville. So they get to go up there and play in a pretty neat ballpark, man. Yeah, Somerville.
It's going to be a lot of fun up there.
Number 5 in the Massey ratings. Well, PT, next week it's game week, my friend. Finally, we get to turn the page and, get into the nitty-gritty. Can't wait.
It's super exciting. You can start warming up this Saturday. There's a couple games on the schedule, so you can go through your mock week, go through your drills of how you want to set up your beverages and how you want to set up your food and, do all that this week so that you don't have to do it next week. So, yeah, I'm excited about some ball coming on this weekend.
Yeah, I had to put the kids through that this few days ago before I got sick. We were out there running training, how you pack and unpack the truck and all that type of stuff. They were doing
all the essentials.
6 to 9 a.m. the early game. Preston Thorne, always a defensive tackle, always an author as well. If you'd like him to send you a copy of Just a Chicken, if you want him to read you that and put you to bed at night, they can do that. They can come read it at your school, whatever you want to do. Athletesandartists.net as well. Great to see you, my friend. You're always positive and always smiling. That makes things better around here.
Man, it's good. I mean, we're talking ball, so it could be a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? We're good.
And talking games. Thank goodness.
Even better. We're starting to talk some actual football now, too, so it's going to be fun.
Oh, shoot.
Actual games.
I left that part off. What was the what is your eyeball? What are your eyeballs on this weekend with week 0? Sorry.
Oh, well, for the good people at North Carolina, I am hoping that TCU stomps a mud hole in the Tar Heels so that we can hurry up and get this thing done. Because I don't have any beef with North Carolina. I think everybody deserves to have a competent head coach, and they don't have one right now. So,
well, that's very true.
So I want that to be over for them really quickly.
Yeah, if they get the crap beat out of them over there, Belichick's girlfriend might just say, this Ireland place, this is a nice spot to live. Maybe we'll just hang around here for a while. Who knows?
Yeah, what a tough situation. I guess I'm always looking out for, even though he coached for the other side, he is a South Carolina native and a low country guy. So I will be cheering for Tony Elliott and the Cavaliers. I'll check that out.
Tony's good, man.
So those will be the two ones I'll be checking out.
Well, Mike, is Sparky Woods? He's not still at North Carolina in some role, is he? He was up there with Mac. Okay, so he's not there with Belichick.
Sparky?
Yeah, I know he was with Mac when he was there, but I don't know if he's still.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Although they have a staff of about 300 people, so it's possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think Sparky is there.
Okay. Sure.
They put a lot of money into everything when Bill got there. I mean, they gave Bill the keys to the car, the bus, the van, and everything in between, the whole lot. Yeah. Hasn't yielded much success yet, but we'll see. We'll see this year.
Okay.
They just announced their starting quarterback, who I did not know much about, to be honest with you. I don't know if that generates a whole lot of excitement in Chapel Hill. It's not like they got some great guy out of the portal or anything.
Oh, Mad Dog said that Sparky is up at Missouri State. He's an assistant coach at Missouri State now. Okay.
Cool.
I'm glad that Coach Woods is still hanging in there. All right. Well, that's good. Well, this, that, and the other. All right, brother. Great to see you. You look as fresh as always.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you. We be ready to go for next week, man.
Good. Thank
See
you,
you,
man.
PT.
There you go. All right, Mike, take us to a timeout, please, sir.
Yes. Where to go? How about we go, since we're talking a lot of numbers, we go Troy Branham. He's got the right numbers for you. 803-238-0111. Mortgage rates. Wish they were lower. We all do. But here's what I can tell you. You're going to get the lowest from Troy. You're going to get the best service from Troy. And even if you decide, you know what, I'm not going to refi. I'm not going to do a mortgage now. It's just too steep. He's still going to give you good advice and hang up the phone with a smile. He's not going to be like, well, you don't have business for me, and I don't got time for you. That's not, Troy doesn't roll that way. If he did, he wouldn't be a friend of the show, nor a friend of mine. So give him a call. He'll help you. He'll help you navigate through those waters and hopefully help you through one of the most exciting times of your life, getting that dream home. Or if you already have it, saving a lot of money on your mortgage, because interest is nothing more than wasted money. 803-238-0111, Troy Branham, Golden Gate Mortgage, serving the entire state of South Carolina for 30 years.
It is 10:55. I feel like I've aged 30 years in the last 30
Well, you don't look it,
so.
damn it. You still look like you would be carded in an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. This is American Pie 5. We can't allow you in. There's brief nudity and sexual conversations.
I'm like watching the energy bar. Yeah, it goes green and then yellow and hits red. It's in the yellow right now. We're trickling, but that's all right. We got another hour to go. An hour is in the books. Our coverage of Gamecock football presented by Palm Casual. When we return, Mike's got plenty of gas in the Kia, JT's Kia Telluride, and he's going to drive us all the way around the SEC. That's up next here on The Morning Show.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury. And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Ryan Brewer Fence offers a variety of services ranging from fences and railings to columns. Our craftsmanship, experience, and service is second to none. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls? If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit ProtectWithBear.com to find out more. ProtectWithBear.com.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were, being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today.
When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business. We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company. And the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
You're tuned into Inside the Gamecocks morning show, part of the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by the West Law Firm, and brought to you in partnership with Resto Pros of the Midlands. Go Gamecocks!
It's now time to take a drive around the SEC, presented by JT's Kia across South Carolina.
Oh, big gulp, son. All right. Well, see you later.
The home of JT's Advantage Package.
On the road again.
Featuring tire rotations,
Just
oil
can't wait
changes,
to get
and
on the
more.
road again. Woo-hoo! The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again.
Are we there yet?
No. On the road again. Going places that I've never been.
Are we there yet?
No. Seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Are we there yet?
No! On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
Make your next trip reliable with JT's Kia. It's time to get on the road again.
On the road again.
To get on the road again, and I like to start off every JT's Kia drive around the SEC, locations throughout South Carolina, including Rock Hill, Greystone Boulevard, Killian Road, et cetera, et cetera. Also presented by Gary Patterson, State Farm agent, GaryPatterson.net for all your insurance needs. Many of our listeners have already called Gary. You've all been happy doing so. Add some more to that list. I need a moment of zen. Remember last year I had, last week I had the guy with a kind of an interesting choice of words. Today I just came across this. Now, I don't know who this team is. And I don't know what the score is when this play happened. I want you to look for number 28. I've watched this, Jamie, 10 times. I still don't know how they pulled this off. Mad Dog, cue it. There he is. Yeah, he's going to run for 45 yards and a touchdown. Where did he come from? Mad Dog, can we see that one more time? Pause it pre-snap.
It's the hidden player trick.
Right, but where is he? Which player in that formation is the hidden player? He's not the quarterback, is he? He's not the running back. He's not like a tackle. You got two backs. You got an H back, and you've got two tight ends. One more time, play it, Phil. Just see, Jamie, see if you can find 28. Where is he? Where is he? I don't know, but there he goes.
Oh, there he goes. He was laying on the ground.
He was laying on the ground. So what was he pre-snap, though? Where was he lined up?
I don't know. He must have just fallen over.
It's a damn Houdini trick. Again, I've watched it 20 times. I don't know where 28 was.
Yep,
somebody help me. It's going to drive me crazy. That's a great call.
I don't know how you get up and run unless the ball was free. So I don't.
Well, you could be on the ground, and then when you get the ball, as long as you're standing up when you get it. Mad Dog, can you make any sense of this?
It looks like he's one of the backs.
He is one of the backs? Okay.
Yeah, he is one of the backs, runs in, falls down. So they didn't plan this.
Oh, you don't think so?
No. This is a fumbled snap. No, not the fun. He didn't fumble the snap. He fumbled the handoff, which was supposed to be just a straight dive play.
Okay.
The ball, you can't really see the ball, but this guy is one of the blockers, or is supposed to have the ball or something. But
I mean, he's number 28.
Had the ball on the ground. Like, this is what is this? This is some level of college football that does not.
It looks like lower, like D2.
Yeah, right. So,
I don't think it's high school. I think it's actually like a small college. But anyway,
depending on how big your brand is, this gets overturned at the league office for being down by contact.
If you want to know, what I do with my free time, that's what I do. I look at obscure plays. I try to figure out how in the hell do they pull them off. Okay. Now to the SEC, because none of those kids I don't think are going to be playing in the Southeastern Conference. We now have all 5 quarterback battles solved. Riddle me that. Riddle me Tennessee. Faison Brandon, 5-star, true freshman. First time they've done that since Brent Schaefer, who Ed Orgeron eventually coached.
Preseason all freshman, first team All-American according to On3 as well.
We mentioned Alabama, Keelan Russell yesterday. Florida, Aaron Philo. I believe that happened while we were on the air. Arkansas, KJ Jackson. And Vanderbilt went with Blake Berlowitz over Curtis. I still think Curtis eventually wins the job. Blaze, I'm sorry. Blaze.
It's a great quarterback name, by the way.
It's a terrific name. I don't know if the kid can play. It's a terrific name. So all 5 starters, and as we mentioned earlier, 4 of those are Carolina opponents. So Carolina gets the advantage, depending on how you look at it, as new, fresh meat playing up under center on the opposite side. NFL preseason's going on. Got me to thinking, how many former SEC quarterbacks will be starting in the NFL this year?
Oh, this is a good one.
I have a number here. I don't think this is changing. And if the last school they played at in college is in the SEC now, I counted it. So if you want to take a stab, you are more than welcome to do so.
8.
Boom.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're not sick. You're just getting smarter.
That's right.
8 it is.
Sandbag.
Sandbagging son of a...
It's Joe Burrow, LSU. Bryce Young, Bama. Matthew Stafford, Georgia. Kyler Murray, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Jackson Dart, Ole Miss. Jalen Hurts, Alabama. Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. And Jaden Daniels, LSU. So you got 2 Titers. You got 2 LSU. And then you got Oklahoma. Oh, you got 2 Oklahomas. And then 1 Ole Miss and 1 Georgia. Now, that's not to say those are the only SEC quarterbacks in the NFL.
No.
Not even from Alabama. Remember, you got Mac Jones still out there, former first-rounder. He's a backup in San Fran. Ty Simpson was the first-round pick of the Rams. They're hoping he'll take over for Stafford, who you would think is in the final, forget about back 9. He might be on the 18th, although he still looks damn good, and a lot of people have the Rams winning the Super Bowl. And then there's some other guys. Oh, yeah, he's still in the league. Drew Lock. In fact, think about this. Josh Heupel, who coached Drew Lock at Missouri, Josh Heupel was watching the Seahawks-Titans game. It was Drew Lock versus Hendon Hooker, 2 guys he coached in college. Kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Hendon Hooker with Tennessee, as I mentioned. He's still around. Spencer Rattler, of course, is with the Saints now. Possibility he does not make the roster. He'll get picked up by somebody. He'll still be in the league. It's just a matter of where. You have Garrett Nussmeier with the Chiefs, so obviously a backup situation. You have Carson Beck with the Cardinals, who shined in the Hall of Fame game. Will be a backup in year 1, presumably. And who am I missing? I think that's it. Oh, Diego Pavia did get cut. Now, this dovetails into the other story that's dominating the headlines. Diego Pavia technically right now could join an SEC team. Can't join the Big Ten, but based on what LSU has already done with 2 players, a tight end and a defensive tackle, Diego Pavia could, in theory, sign with somebody and play his 27th year of eligibility in college football. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is he's going to sign with the UFL, and I think he'll shine in that league. I think that's perfect for him, and he'll do whatever Diego Pavia does. But those are some of the names of former SEC quarterbacks. Oh, by the way, some Ahmad Hardy news. He's not going to start in the opener for Missouri. And really, they can keep him sidelined until week 4. Unless you think Kansas is a formidable opponent, they don't have to break much of a sweat until week 4 if they don't want to. So keep an eye on that. He's going to play, but he will not play in week 1. Missouri has a cupcake in week 1 like many other SEC schools do. Okay, the SEC made a statement yesterday, and this is before the Big Ten made their grand statement today. But the SEC, in 3 paragraphs, basically said, I'll read this real quick. College athletes, not former professional athletes, have been at the heart of the Southeastern Conference. Individuals who choose to leave college athletics, sign professional playing contracts, and compete professionally should not then be permitted to return to college competition. Allowing that to occur will blur the line between college and professional sports, create significant competitive equity concerns, and reduce opportunities for high school and current college athletes. College sports are for college athletes. The current confusion around national eligibility standards emphasizes the need to advance the Protect College Sports Act. In any of those 3 paragraphs, did you hear the words not allowed or else?
No. It was funny because when I saw the statement last night, there was, the SEC is, there was a lot of retweets, and the SEC is taking a stance on this. I'm like, yeah, but they're not doing anything about it.
Right.
What are you talking about? They're taking us. I got a stance on a lot of things, but I mean, once I do something about it, I mean, they need to get in the game here and stop this. This is ludicrous.
Well, the Big Ten,
they can put a stop to this, right? Like,
the Big Ten did.
Yeah, the presidents can come together and be like, no.
100%. I mean, the SEC has had rules before that didn't necessarily apply to every other conference in college football. So they can make it a conference rule. They have not done yet. And of course, the Big Ten, and a little bit of a grandstand, to be honest, said, yeah, well, we're not going to allow that. We're the Big Ten. We don't condone such activity. And this, of course, on the heels of LSU after adding a tight end, now expected to add former Ole Miss star defensive tackle Xavier Harris after an NFL stint. So, I mean,
RJ Luis is eligible too. That judge down there.
Yeah.
JC, by the way, you look really fresh. You did a nice job today in hair and makeup.
I had a little more time today.
Yeah,
Actually, I did this morning.
You don't look like you're towing a horse and buggy anymore.
You're going to churn some butter, brother.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I don't know how this is going to come across. It's probably going to come across kind of silly, but dude, if you're an NFL guy getting cut and going back to college, I don't know how you become an NFL respected in the league. Like, you're never going to be that. You couldn't cut it here, so you had to go back and play college football, didn't you? You little punk. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. Like, it's coming. This is silly.
The funny thing is, like, these guys doing it, they will make more money in college if this stands than they would if, say, they were on the practice squad of an NFL team, which those guys do get paid, but they don't get paid the kind of money that big-time college football players are getting paid right now.
Nope. How much do they make, Mike, on the practice squad, do you think?
I thought it was a couple $100,000 if you hung around.
It is six figures. I want to say around 300. Yeah. Maybe that's just the league minimum, but it's six figures, whatever it is. Just to be in training camp, these guys are getting paid. I think I heard the number somewhere around $10,000 a week. So they are getting money, professional money.
Yeah,
that's not per diem. Like, you could buy a lot of steaks, but not $10,000 worth. So they've already broken the cardinal sin that we had for 100-something years in college athletics. Once you accept pro money. But this started with basketball with Bediaka. Now, eventually, the SEC said no and told Nate Oates, you're not playing him anymore. My guess is they'll do that here, but it's going to get sticky because you're going to have to tell LSU, those two guys that you signed, kick them off now.
I don't think the league's going to suffer if LSU left the conference. Just to be honest, they're not. I mean, they're a big brand, but they're not the big brand. And Louisiana's got 2.8 million people in it, and that's the only place LSU fans live. So who gives a damn? Kick them out. It's not like kicking out Tennessee or Texas or A&M that have huge fan bases. I mean, look, seriously, they are the worst actors in all of this.
Yep.
Nobody else is out here doing this, right? Who else is out there signing pro players? And then Lane Kiffin, who I've lost all respect for, since the McGee documentary where I was Team Lane Kiffin, that he had changed his life and turned over a new leaf. And he's out there with these kids deserve a chance. We can't hold that against these kids. They're not kids anymore. Dude, that defensive tackle's 37 years old. He's 6'8", 340. He's a JUCO and then transferred a few times. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not Lane Kiffin's fault. It's Wade Rouse, PhD, the president at LSU. They released that statement last night. I'm like, damn, did y'all talk to the LSU president? What did he have to say? What was his hot take on this? I mean, come on. And then in basketball, RJ Luis getting eligible put me over the edge. I mean, that guy's been in the pros for 2 years.
Right.
I mean, there's no planet where he should be eligible. And the lawyers need to understand this too. Playing football is not a right. It's not a right. You don't have the right to just go, oh, I can't. I'm going to make more money doing this. I think I'm going to go back and do this. I have the right to do it. That's what people have to start understanding. You know, you can sue and get injunctions on blanket rules nationally, but if a conference does it, just go play in another conference.
Yeah, it was so funny when the lawsuit went through in Louisiana, or the judge in Louisiana made the ruling, the statewide. Here's our law. Well, of course, what did we think they were going to do down there? Not let this happen. Kiffin's the line that I saw from Kiffin. Maybe I read too much into it, but let's be honest. I didn't. The quote was, I believe that my job is to LSU and the LSU people that hired me and the fans. That's it. There's nothing else. And the LSU people that hired me who are saying, you know what? We're giving you a path to go get more players. Go get them. We're paying you all this money. This is what we're doing here. Go do it. I don't know if Lane wants to do it or doesn't want to do it. It does not matter. They're going to do it until somebody puts a stop to it.
I'd feel weird about winning if that is what facilitated winning. That's just not college sports, man.
You know, it's interesting you say that. You got Moscona and some good sports talk radio, I will say. When I travel around Baton Rouge, I actually like what they do at that station. Mm-hmm. I wonder if anybody calls, look, I'm a diehard LSU fan, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and this is flat out wrong. Does any of that even enter the equation, or it's all just, hey, man, we got to make the playoff?
I've seen some of that, but it's like people yelling into the void on X. I mean, it's nobody.
Yeah,
there are fans. There's like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. This is wrong. You know, it's like, I don't care if we win or not. I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, you're always going to gravitate towards your team, but
you're coming back.
Yeah, they're going to go in the stadium, but it's like. It's almost like when these teams win titles that are on probation. I mean, you kind of an asterisk by it. I don't know that Daquan Wright. I mean, they've already got a stud tight end. I mean, I don't know. Daquan Wright's probably a backup to Trey'Dez Green, don't you think? I mean, Trey'Dez Green's a freak.
Yeah, or just another guy. If you play two tight ends set, he can be
something like that. But then there's and the D tackle, though, they're not really back to LSU level at D tackle. So that guy could really make a difference.
That's a big pickup. Yeah. Like he's a stud. So that is one that really moves the meter for what could have been their Achilles heel, which is the line of scrimmage. To get him is big. And you mentioned RJ Louise, who I was going to just kind of finish things off with. I know we're not in basketball season. That name probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. He was the Big East Player of the Year, folks, and an All-American in 2025. He signs a two-way contract. Keywords of that statement: signs contract. That means money came his way from a professional organization that happened to be the Utah Jazz, and he gets traded to the Celtics. So in his closet, he has two jerseys from the Jazz and the Celtics. But he's going to play. You know, I think it was Reese asked, how does this affect Will Wade? Well, most of the kids Will Wade signed already have been vetoed, but not all. So that's the game they're playing. It's a numbers game at LSU. We're going to just see who we can get away with slipping by here. And if we get ruled ineligible for some, okay, there's no big deal. We'll take who we can get. They just do not care.
I would just say, listen, North Carolina has more fans than you have and draws bigger TV ratings. Keep that in mind. You're a Big 12 school if it's not for the SEC. You can go down there with Houston, get a nice rivalry with them. I'm serious, man. That's what it's going to take to end this, especially when you have one rogue team, rogue school. Nobody else, even Tennessee, and that may be coming with Tennessee. But even Tennessee that likes to kind of push the envelope, they're not even going with pro. I just don't get it. I mean, LSU used to not be like this.
Well, I mean, college athletics used to not be like this. I mean,
but this is beyond what they're doing in both major men's sports is beyond what
100%. But they're going to push the envelope until somebody pushes back.
Yeah, that's why I would threaten them.
Well, they're not leaving the SEC. If it comes down to Greg Sankey says no, you can't do it, and if you do, then you have to forfeit the games. That's it. LSU has to cut the guys. They'll stop. I mean, they're not going to doom their entire season and program over this.
But I would threaten that. I mean, listen, this is.
Yeah, I mean,
Greg Sankey's got to man up.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I think Petitti basically said, "Ball is in your court, Greg."
Again.
Petitti's having a lot of fun these days.
He really is. next to the Fogan and Chow.
Yeah,
that office is just hot now. They're
happening.
Getting the filet menu. They're getting the Wagyu package at Fogan and Chow after work up near O'Hare Airport.
Oh yeah, much more than perhaps Commissioner Sankey is at the O'Charlie's in Hoover. The choice sirloin for $19.99. No, I mean, look, Greg Sankey was living a really charmed life, and no one's going to feel sorry for him because he's still got a sweet gig. But they were winning the national title every year in the SEC. Every significant move in college athletics depended on the SEC's approval. Basically, everybody looked toward Birmingham to decide, okay, what's going to be the future of the sport. He handled COVID better than anybody, by far.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the last 18 months, it's been a tough stretch. Actually, you really could say 3 years because the SEC hasn't been in the title game. The Big Ten has completely grown in power and in revenue and in TV exposure. And then you got stuff like this going on where it's the SEC, man. There's always going to be somebody that's going to go rogue. Big Ten doesn't necessarily have that appetite. Anyway, that is now the conclusion of the JT's Kia Drive Around the SEC. Maestro, take us out, please.
All right. 11:25 here on what is today? Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday morning. I mentioned there that Faison Brandon. I always got to make sure I think about that because I want to say Brandon Faison, but it's Faison Brandon, the starting quarterback at Tennessee, preseason freshman All-American by On3. Jazavian Currents named to that team as well from South Carolina. He is a preseason first-team freshman All-American at the safety position. Not shocking to us.
Not based on reports from the scrimmage this weekend. My gosh.
Goodness gracious. Yeah.
That guy. Now, he's going to be different than Nick Ibanore. I hope everybody knows that. They're just, it's like the KJ Jefferson, Lenore Sellers comparison. They're just both big.
Mm-hmm.
Jazavian's a little bit more of a dynamic guy in coverage and ball skills and things like that. Nick is early on, at least, was a tackling machine. I've heard Jazavian's done a good job tackling, but you're going to see some more plays on the ball early in his career than you did with Nick. I was just sick.
Keep putting them back there. Carolina's just doing about as well as anybody at the safety spot. All right, it's 11:26. We need to step aside for a timeout. Mike, can you slide us into it, please?
I certainly can do just that very thing with Ryan Brewer Fence for all your fencing needs. Ryan Brewer, the man, the myth, the Outback Bowl MVP, the girls soccer coach, the pillar of the community, and the purveyor of the best fencing, railing, customized art of anywhere in the state of South Carolina. You can go to ryanbrewer.net, get yourself a free estimate, or you can just call and have them come out to you for a free estimate. They've got you covered, and it's done on time. You don't play for Lou Holtz and not have a meticulous nature about yourself, not pay attention to detail, not do things in a punctual manner. You kind of pick up on those things. Ryan does the same in his business. It's been successful now for nearly 20 years. That's Ryan Brewer Fence, ryanbrewer.net.
Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls?
If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorrento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Shopping at Gamecock Traditions is easy. Just pick up your phone. Type in GamecockTraditions.com. Select your items and purchase. They will ship it to your doorstep. GamecockTraditions.com.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Sell your quality sports and fitness equipment to Play It Again Sports and get paid. Recycling your in-demand sports gear keeps it available in your community. Sell, buy, trade, and win with Play It Again Sports.
If you need a new fence, railings, even new columns, there is only one call in South Carolina. Gamecock great, Ryan Brewer. Over 15 years in the industry. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to ITG.
South Carolina football. Young men come to Columbia as football players. Some become heroes, and few become legends.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. Gonna get there and chance to be paid. Let's go. It's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends. We're gonna teach them all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry. It's about to be legendary.
In Columbia, South Carolina, legends never die.
Yeah, still kind of getting over the shock from our buddy Steven Garcia just popping onto our screen last week down in Florida. That was pretty cool. Welcome back. It is the morning show brought to you by Palm Casual, palmcasual.com, palmcasual.com. Best outdoor furniture you can find. All right. So not really a poll question, more of an opinion here. Kamario Taylor, Keelan Russell, Kenny Minchie, Aaron Philo, Faison Brandon, KJ Jackson, Chris Vizina, all the first-year starters on the South Carolina schedule this season. Which one of those players, in y'all's opinion, makes the biggest impact to his team?
There's more than that. There's 7 of them. First-time, full-time start. Did you mention Minchie from Kentucky? And Philo?
Minchie. Yeah, I did.
Minchie. I thought he was okay, Minchie.
I said all 7.
All right.
You just started listening at number 5.
Yeah, that's a Prince song, 7.
That's right.
7. It's pretty jam. It's a jam.
Oh, it's one of my favorite Prince songs.
It is really good, Phil. Mm-hmm. The impact,
biggest impact on his team.
I think Brandon's going to have the best stats.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick one of these dudes, you're forcing me to, I would probably pick Keelan Russell. Because he's in his second year. He's been in the system a year. I heard he was throwing a good ball. It's important to, a lot of folks, you got to be able to throw it. They have good receivers. They're going to have to throw the ball. They like to throw the ball. If he's able to throw the ball, I would say that. But in Tennessee's system, even Nico that year, he wasn't all that good. It was something like 22 touchdowns, 5 picks. He put up numbers. You're just going to put up numbers in that one. I think I would go with Russell. That would be my pick.
How many of these guys do y'all think finish the season as a starting quarterback?
I hope 2. Tramel Jones, Florida's backup's 175 pounds.
Yeah, that guy. Let's hope that guy's playing.
And
I think they all stick.
If they end up, I say I don't know that any of them won't stick, unless if barring injury or something like that. I mean, sometimes teams, like if Arkansas is really bad as we expect them to be, maybe they just give another guy a shot to get a spark or something. I know at Clemson, Tate Reynolds has pushed Vizina more than maybe was expected. They like Tate Reynolds. And Dabo's not afraid of calling an audible.
Especially
he never has been. Never. I mean, Kelly Bryant was undefeated, and they beat Georgia Tech 73-7. They're like, oh, sorry, Trevor's starting for the rest of the year because nobody's going to beat us, but Alabama may beat us if you're the quarterback. So see you.
That was the easiest choice, although some people criticized it.
Pretty easy. Yeah.
Bryant
I wouldn't have started Kelly
one of the
Bryant.
worst throwers of the football at that level. And then you got Trevor Lawrence, who's just got it all.
When Kelly, of all those quarterbacks in that era, Kelly Bryant was the only quarterback to lead them to the number 1 overall seed in the playoffs. Can you believe that?
It's weird.
All those other guys, which is crazy. I don't know. I think that, Kamario Taylor, man, he's going to have to guide them to a lot of points. I just don't think Mississippi State's defense is very good. I don't think a lot of people do. And I think he's going to be the one that has to play the best in order to kind of try to get them over the hump. I mean, I don't know who their backup is. If Kamario Taylor goes down or isn't playing well or something like that.
Bro, it's
Jaden
Rashada.
That's right.
Rashada.
I keep forgetting about him. Yeah, we've talked about that.
Man.
Yeah.
I'll repeat myself for those that didn't catch the episode. I said it. My buddy worked at Sacramento State. That's where Jaden Rashada was. 1 year, and he was like, yeah, man, he goes out there and he's throwing routes on air and he just throws a beautiful ball, just beautiful. And then he paused and he's like, yep, that's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, as far as impact, like impacting the game for their team, I would actually go in a crazy reverse. I'd probably go Taylor, Minchie, and Jackson, just because those teams are going to be a little bit limited with what else they can do.
Yeah, and that's kind of the angle that I was taking. And for specifically for Carolina, it really depends on where they fall. Like I like the fact that you get Kamario Taylor, Mississippi State, maybe or earlier than maybe later. Maybe they haven't quite gotten there yet. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But seeing Faison Brandon in Tennessee, I mean, Tennessee plugs and plays that offense. It's just going to produce. It just is what it is. Like they're just going to produce points and yards.
And why? Because they always can run the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And once again they can. They got Deshaun Bishop back. Like they're going to be fine. It's going to pull a lot off him.
Bishop's underrated, I think. Really, to be honest. I mean, they like their offensive line too, and they like their receivers. They think the receivers are. So yeah,
I mean, I agree with you on Vizina. I mentioned this last week, and I'll mention it again. We don't spend any time around here just beating up on the program in the upstate or anything like that. That's not what we do. But Mike, I think Mike made a really good point, and it's earlier about Chad Morris. I mean, it's really such a fascinating ordeal, and they're trying to go back to the well. It seems like they're kind of trying to recreate the magic, but I guess we'll just have to see. And if you've got that freshman, JC, you just made another excellent point. Coach Sweeney has never had an issue with putting a freshman in there. If he feels like that's the best one, he's going to do it. The Vizina thing, I know some people are like, "Hey, look, he's had a great camp," and that I'm not doubting that. I'm sure he has had a great camp. I have no idea, I have no intel, and I have no comment. But it also seems like it's the rockiest of anything simply because of the pressure that is on the program to perform. And if he's just not getting them over the top, they just went through this. I mean, Cade Klubnik was supposedly a pretty good quarterback, and he just couldn't get them over the hump for whatever reasons there were. So if they feel like they're going through that again, and they feel like they could turn to a freshman who's pushing him anyways. Why would they not do it?
Yeah. He started against SMU. Now they lost that game because their defense was nothing like the defense they brought to Columbia, which tells you some things about the motivation of some of those guys. But he threw for like 317 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. He might be fine.
SMU's not a defensive juggernaut, but Miami's quarterback, I don't think Carson Beck threw for that much when they lost to SMU. So it's got a good arm. Kind of reminds me of Chris Smelly a little bit, to be honest.
Well,
before Chris Smelly got hurt, and you remember Chris Smelly had an injury that we found out about 10 years later, and he couldn't throw it that well.
I knew about it then because we were really good buddies with Chris and Josie, his now wife, beautiful wife. But you look at like where are the fire games for these guys, right? Mike, what you mentioned earlier about Missouri and the Hardy situation. I think they'll be okay on the road at Kansas. Jamal Roberts is a really good backup for them too. But when you think about quarterbacks and going into the fire, I mean, Kamario Taylor, he's probably got the biggest challenge coming to Columbia, South Carolina in week 3. Keelan Russell in week 2 up at Kentucky. I'm telling you, I'm not getting off of this until we see that game and see what happens. Maybe I'm dead wrong, but I just don't think Alabama waltzes into Lexington in week 2 and just blows the doors off of Big Blue and comes back home, gets ready for Florida State. I think that's going to be a challenge.
I think Alabama fans agree with you. I don't think they're puffing their chest out thinking, we just go into Lexington like we used to back in the days of glory of yesteryear when Saban was patrolling the sidelines, and we'll just whoop up on them like we should.
Right.
You have no reason to have that kind of confidence right now if you're Alabama.
You're right. And the offensive line has a lot to do with that, and the fact that they couldn't run the football.
Couldn't run the ball.
It's
amazing how many teams last year could not run the ball. Texas was not good at running the ball.
Yeah.
These are programs you just assume would always have no problem getting 5 yards a carry, and that just is not the case.
It's a great case study, and I know, JC, maybe you're going where I'm going with this. I'm just going to mention it and shut up and get out of the way here, but the question is why? Like these traditional programs who run the football well, again, I go back to a couple weeks ago, I asked y'all, do you remember when I asked this? How many offensive lines in this league, how many teams do feel good about their offensive line? The ones that you name, Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma, go look at their running stats and then look at how many linemen are returning. I think that's the reason. I think the turnover is just getting out of control, and that is the most difficult position to turn over and be consistent with.
Yeah, and I think
nobody's immune to it is my point. To your point, Mike, I don't think anybody's immune to that.
No, not at all.
It's still football.
And nobody's super duper. I think there's a lot of factors as to why offensive lines struggle in college football these days, and the portal is part of it. Depth is part of it too. Those guys get banged up. I mean, if you look at if we actually had reports every day on practice injuries and stuff.
Oh God,
practice were up at every school, there would be like 3 or 4 people would be panicking.
It'd be close the bridges, 100%.
Yeah,
You wouldn't be able to travel across water.
They hit somebody every single play, and even in like non-contact practices, their upper bodies are taking a beating when they're out there in just shoulder pads because they're collisions. It's an unnatural position to get in. The rules are skewed towards the defense. It's and then nobody ever talks about you unless Cole Kubelik is calling your game.
Well, that's true.
Nobody ever talks about you unless you screw up. Yeah. So you got to love football to be good, to be great at that position. And I just don't think a lot of kids nowadays, and it's not their fault. It's society. It's instant clout. I think somebody's like, all the better athletes like, no, I'm just going to go over here where I'm going to be a tight end, that kind of thing. So it's always been a weird position. It's even weirder now. Alabama, I don't think they want to run the ball. You look at DeBoer at Washington,
they don't
really run the ball. They threw it. They like to throw it. They love throwing it. I think last year, one of the problems was running back, whoever the guy was that replaced Justice Haynes, the other back that was better than Haynes in 24. Turns out he's not better than Haynes.
Mhm.
He just let Justice walk, and probably shouldn't have. Their offensive line last year was very disappointing. You have Caden Proctor on that line, and you can't run block any better than that. Good interior guys Saban had recruited. So now they've gone in a different direction. They've hired Adrian Clem as their offensive line coach. He's always been known more as a recruiter than a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got some guys from California up front. I like their center. They missed out on Jacarius Peak. Because that's what was next on his visit list before he decided on Carolina. And then they missed out on Hollywood Smothers.
Mm-hmm.
They love Dave Dorn players. They love Dave Dorn's players at Alabama. But they had Hollywood, and then Texas just came in and swiped him. So I don't know that they're Alabama-like. It's weird that Alabama doesn't have – their starting running back is a guy named Daniel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And South Carolina recruited him, as we remember.
Meridian, Mississippi. And I jumped you on that.
Yep. The whole word with him was Alabama really liked him as a linebacker, but they take him as a running back. Now he's the starter, and I think he's good, but they're thin. They are actually thin at receiver. They have 3 receivers that are studs. After that, I read an article the other day on Bama Online. Depth at receiver is a big concern. They have 3. Okay. Yeah. You look at their defense. There's a lot of hype about their front 7. They've got Kingsley. What's his name? Kingsley Jones. Something. Anyway, South Carolina recruited him out of North Carolina. They weren't fired up about him. He's a 4-star guy. One of those Mac Brown kids that went up there to UNC.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of went there and was just kind of okay. And then got in the portal. And now he's starting inside. They got a kid from Southern Cal that's got all the measurables, but hasn't really produced that much. They're very excited about it. I'd be excited about him too. The backup at the edge rusher position is Desmond Umazulu. They're worried about their linebackers at Alabama. They don't know. They have one guy that was a stud that's been banged up. The other 2 are kind of mysteries. Their secondary is elite. But if you look back through the history of South Carolina football, as we know around here, you can have a great secondary all you want. If you've got issues up from the front 7 in the SEC,
that's a problem.
So Bama's kind of like LSU was for me back in 24. I was like, I think they're getting a lot because people pick that 24 LSU team to go to the playoff and stuff. And I just think they're kind of getting by with being who they are. But I looked at the depth chart and I was shocked. I was like, surely they got some dudes that are proven that they got in there that have developed, and they just don't. And then 2 of their stud freshmen, now it's in the secondary, so they'll be fine, have serious injuries that they've surfed. And they lost a running back as well. That's a highly touted guy. So it's going to be interesting. Alabama, East Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, that's a great challenge for them in the first 3. I think they'll beat all those teams, but I think it's a great to play those guys.
I was actually going to flash that up in the drive, and I forgot that. But yeah, the Alabama schedule.
I think to your point, it actually goes further than that.
Thank you, Phil.
Mike, you might have been about to make that point. I think a lot of people from the outside look at this and they believe that Alabama's season starts on October the 10th, and they are sadly mistaken if that's their thought process right now.
Yeah, no, that might have been old school Bama, old school being peak Saban, but not 2026 Bama. And I was just looking at it as we were talking. I forgot it was this bad. They averaged, this is college now, where a lot of teams average between 4.5 and 5 yards a carry. They averaged 3.4.
Yeah.
The only team that was worse was Carolina at 3.2. Now, something to keep in mind, when you take 40 sacks, that kills your rushing average. They don't do it like that in the NFL. I think it's a flawed way of tabulating that. I don't understand why sacks would count against your rushing yards, but that's just the way they've always done it, and that's the way to do it. But Alabama was second to last in yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane for Alabama. That's just not. That ain't good.
You're right.
Here's the thing, too, about their defense and the front. So Kentucky got CJ Baxter out of the portal. At Texas 2 years ago, he was elite. Now, how's his injury? Is he the same back? That kind of thing. They also got Javante Barnes from Oklahoma as another back. They're not particularly good at receiver, but their offensive line, you have Lance Hurd, who was a stud at Tennessee, Tegra Tushabola, who's a senior fifth-year guy, Ohio State. He's been in Ohio State's program for a while. The center came from Baylor. He's a big old Texan from Bowie, Texas. They got the Finnish guy, Olas Alinen from Alabama. He's their starting right guard. They do 6'6", 329 from Finland, lumberjack.
Small kid, yeah.
And then Malachi Wood is the hometown guy from Richmond, Kentucky, where there's a Buc-ee's. It's outstanding. But this dude's 6'8", 330. So if CJ Baxter or Javante Barnes can be good and they can run the ball, they could be formidable. Now, I don't think their defensive personnel is worth a toot, but that offense could be tricky. People are going to think Will Stein is going to come in there and throw it all over the place. His OC is Joe Sloan, who was at LSU last year, so they're going to run LSU's offense. This Kentucky team may be guys good on offense this year, but a run-based team. How about that? The Big Blue Wall may make a comeback.
Well, in Richmond, Kentucky, not to be confused with Corbin, Kentucky, the home of the original Sanders Cafe and the world's largest frying pan. But
in
there.
By the way, I do want to. I need to give a JC shout out here, real quick here, not to boost your ego anymore, but you earlier you mentioned Cole Kubelik, and you said Cole Kubelik. So you got out of this like 7-year Cole Kubelik thing that we could never break you from for whatever reason that was.
I've been broken.
But you did a nice job with that. So you can continue on.
It's because Cole had me on his show
and did he tell you like, hey, I'm Cole Kubelik?
No, I heard it and I was like, oh.
Okay.
See, I don't listen to y'all.
Well, I know that.
I just you have to kind of got to hear it around the bend, right?
Or like from him specifically.
Yeah. I love reading. I mean, there's very little college football opinion I look forward to reading after Saturdays, but his stuff that he puts on X, where he goes through every team and watches every game. I mean, you could tell he's watching the games.
Yeah.
And I got mad respect for that.
Well, congratulations, because you it's been a long time coming. I felt like, do you have like a round of applause or something for that, Phil? Or do we have like a bell you can ring or fireworks or something? There you go. Yeah, that was.
By the way, Alabama, Kentucky overall series between the two schools in the SEC, Bear Bryant coached at and was the all-time wins leader until Mark Stoops took over that. All-time series between Kentucky and Bama, 39-2-1. I think Kentucky won in 1997, and I think they tore down the goalpost, and they won in 1922.
Well, I'm not predicting that they win that game. I mean, they've got Alabama in addition to, and I don't know, who knows how good Florida State's going to be. But remember, they also have to go to Mississippi State after they play South Carolina and right before they play Georgia. I don't think that's some easy game either, so.
And without a bye week, they have a legit gauntlet.
Mike, they don't have a bye week until Halloween, man. They got 8 games straight.
Yeah. No, it'll be challenging. Find out what they're made of.
Well, that's, we mentioned Russell in that game, but that's just, think about Kenny Minchie. Bro, you get Alabama at home, your second start there. You can make a name for yourself. Could be a big day.
He can't do much worse than what Kentucky has had at quarterback here the last few years. It's
that kid that they had last year, Cutter Boley. He went to Arizona State. I think he'll be fine. It was surprising to me because he's a Lexington kid, but he was just not ready.
No.
Now Brock Vandegrift, that's some of the worst quarterbacking I've ever seen.
Oh, Carolina basically psychologically abused him for 4 quarters to the point where he wanted to quit football. It eventually did. That's how bad that game went for Vandegrift, the 5-star.
You know, that Alabama game, though, Mike and JB, with the exception of that Carolina game, Kentucky early in the season with an SEC home game, they've given team fits.
Always.
They didn't just roll over for Ole Miss last year. I mean, it was Austin Simmons caused some of that, but that was a competitive game in week 2. And then the week after they played Carolina in 24, they lost by a point to Georgia.
I know. We've made that point.
Yeah.
A good Georgia team. So they can be tough.
The one thing Stoops did, and it'll be very interesting to see the change, because the cry in Kentucky wasn't just, we're not winning anymore. It also, even when they were doing fairly well, was, good Lord, this is a boring offense. And they got tired of spending their hard-earned money and trying to win games 17-16. But that is what helped Mark Stoops both win a lot of games and keep it close against better teams. He managed to, everything that they did, which is why OCs didn't hang around very long, everything he did was to ball control. We're going to make fewer mistakes. We're going to win the turnover battle, and we're going to keep it low scoring and somewhat ugly, but it benefits us, the lesser talented team, in more SEC matchups than not. You can't fault that strategy, and it did work for a while. And then, I think Mark was doomed the moment he played footsies under the table with Texas A&M. Fans never forgave him for that.
Yeah.
And once that happened, he was dead man walking. But they had a nice formula for them. The big blue wall. They always had one of the better offensive lines. They were going to be more physical than you were, and the quarterback play was just good enough. But I don't think that's what Will Stein took the job for. I think Will Stein, who's done a terrific job of developing and taking a good quarterback and turning him into a great one, he wants to open things up a bit at Kentucky. Whether that happens right away with Minchie, I don't know. But eventually that is the long-range plan.
Mike, I think that even makes that game in Lexington on September the 12th even sexier, because what does Kentucky have to lose that day? Nothing.
Nothing. They're playing with house money.
They have nothing to lose. I mean, we'll just go out there and, let's see what happens. Let's try to punch them in the mouth, and let's see how they respond. Does Alabama respond if they get punched in the mouth? I don't know. We'll find out. And the track record is, we've all mentioned this. Phil's mentioned it. You've mentioned it, Mike. JC, you've mentioned it. I've mentioned it. I mean, y'all talked about Ole Miss last year at home, where the Rebels had to hang on and get out of there with a 7-point win. Other than Carolina, which to me it was unexpected. I thought South Carolina, when they were going to Lexington in 2024, was really in for a dogfight, and of course they beat the hell out of them. And I thought, well, that's that, And Kentucky, JC, as you pointed out, the next week they almost upset the top-ranked team in the country in Georgia. And then a couple weeks later, they actually went on the road to Ole Miss and beat them, if y'all remember, a top 10 Ole Miss team. But their first home game against an SEC opponent in 23, I was just looking at it. I said, I know there's a longer track record than this. Florida, they were number 22 in the country.
Beat them by 19.
Beat them by 19 points. Early in the year, 2022, they went to the Swamp, beat them by 10.
It's the Anthony Richardson Heisman campaign ending.
Yeah.
It lasted 1 week.
They had to go a couple weeks later to Ole Miss, who was 14th in the country, and they barely lost that game. South Carolina has actually been the only team in the last 5 years that's really found a way to thump them early in the year. The rest of these SEC games, they've either won or they've been right in the thick of it. So,
yeah, last year was such a weird year for them with Stoops and stuff, though, because they were bad, and then they got better, and then they got bad at the end. So they had won 3 straight games. They beat Auburn. They held Auburn to 3 points. They blew Florida's doors off at home. They beat Tennessee Tech, but then Vandy beat them 45. Vandy and Louisville crushed them road games, combined 86-17. and Stoops was out. They took Texas to the wire, 16-13.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a fascinating game, y'all. Alabama, the Bear Bryant Bowl.
Well, look, all these teams that are at the bottom of the league every year, I'm not saying the same teams are at the bottom of the league every year. I'm just saying whatever teams are at the bottom, a couple of them, they always beat somebody. You just don't want to be the team that they beat.
Except for Arkansas.
Yeah, lately, except for Arkansas. Well, and, I think one of the craziest streaks that's going on right now, it's snuck up. I don't even know how many people actually even realize this. Mississippi State has not won a home game in the last 3 seasons in the SEC. The last home win they had was in 2022, like November 24th or something like that of 2022 against their rival, Ole Miss. They have lost 12 consecutive SEC games at home. And this year they've got Missouri, they got Alabama, they got Oklahoma, and Auburn all coming to town. They're going to beat somebody at home. Who's it going to be?
Man, that was Mike Leach, too. So Arnett and Orr Levy have won a SEC home game. They, too, had Texas on the ropes. Whenever I talk about Texas Longhorn athletics, that's the type of crap I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those guys, all the talent in the world, great coaching, money, fans. They will lay an egg in a heartbeat. The Longhorns will lay an egg in a heartbeat. I learned that from betting on them in the NCAA tournament and college football bowl games through the years. Don't bet on Texas. Don't do it. You want to. Matthew McConaughey. Want to.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right. I'm going with the Longhorns.
Yeah.
What, Texas? Ooh, 3 of their last 4 on the road in the league. All right. I don't have any parting shots other than I got to go get all this figured out so I can keep going this week.
All right. Good fun. Good fun, guys.
Appreciate
Shout out Renee Fryer, Home Advantage. Her and Jordan do a great job. Shout out to D's Wings. If I was in Columbia right now, I would throw down because I am starving. If only I could just Uber Eats it to Atlanta. That'd be fantastic. But it's not available yet, but it is available to you if you're in South Carolina. Hell, I would drive an hour right now and spend a few hours bellied up to the bar.
Y'all are all on DoorDash, aren't you?
I need to delete my app.
I mean, you have
I
an
use
app.
DoorDash.
Do you have the DoorDash app, though, downloaded? No?
I got rid of it. I only use Uber Eats.
Oh, okay. Well, they probably do. I guess they do the same thing because I've got Uber Eats as well. But, like, it's right at lunch. It's right at dinner. Every day I get these, like, pop-up messages on my phone. Like, I just got one. Hey, would you like to try Zen Asian Fusion? That could be your next go-to. No, I don't want Asian for lunch.
No, I don't.
Thank you.
Hey, when you open DoorDash, Uber Eats will pop up too and ask you if you'd like to order from them instead.
I know, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, you're telling me, bro.
Yeah, this is well, like I got a new credit card a couple of weeks ago, and then 3 days later, I got 15 emails from every airline in the country. Not emails, letters from every airline in the country. 0% for 18 months. You're qualified for this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh boy, who's got my information now? Not good.
Everybody.
All right, glad y'all got to see me. I don't know what tomorrow is. I think it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, wide open Wednesday.
Oh, it's Media Wednesday tomorrow. We got DC and Chris too.
Yeah, we got Beamer should be talking here.
Yep, he's coming up here in 58 minutes and this, that, and the other. A little programming note. Just got this over while we've been on, but Clark Cox is going to be here for his annual preseason all about the facilities conversation on Thursday morning. Oh, so we'll get old Coach Cox.
He'll be a good person to have on right now.
Absolutely. We've been going back and forth about this, a bunch of stuff, and yeah, he'll be a good one. So he can answer the Williams Bryce upgrades questions. How about that? So
love it.
All right, guys, have a wonderful, terrific Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit restoprosmidlandssc.com.
The road to success, well, it isn't always a straight one. I tell my kids every day before dropping them off at school, don't take this for granted. Tuition assistance from the South Carolina Education Lottery helped me go back to school when I needed to make a change. And I'm so grateful because now I am where I'm supposed to be.
Better opportunities means a better South Carolina, and a better South Carolina means a better you.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a Self-Defense Act? Visit protectwithbear.com to find out more. protectwithbear.com.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
If you have experienced water damage, storm damage, fire or smoke damage, or need mold remediation, you need Resto Pros of the Midlands. Visit restoprosmidlandssc.com and go Gamecocks.
Subscribe to fourquarterfriday.com. High school sports coverage in South Carolina. Part of Rivals on 3. And the Chief Sports Network.
Clowns are people too. Clowns are people too. Now I own some tiny horns and got me those red shoes. I don't know much, but know one thing that's true. If you don't know anything, just know that clowns are people too.
Now back to the clowns on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome in, everybody. It is Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Here we are, final hour of the Super Stream for today on ITV.
Yes.
I am Phil Mad Dog, and he is JC Shirt. We are in and ready to go on a terrible Tuesday, JC. I'm leaning into this whole terrible Tuesday thing because it's just
everybody's sick.
Yeah, I know people aren't feeling well. Like, I started to get a headache in the middle of the morning show, like right when Preston was on. I was like, "What is going on today? This is."
Dude, I had a headache yesterday. After the show for 3 hours.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
I had to shut it down.
That's where I'm starting to get to the point now, because now I'm in my 4th hour of having headphones on, and I'm really getting irritated.
And this is the one where you have to talk. I've learned that it's the more I have to talk, the worse it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because my voice is reverberating, but not so bad today after yesterday's marathon.
Yeah, I know.
Thought it was a good show, but it's just one of those things. But this is Inside the Gamecocks, the show. The McKellar Enterprises Chat Box has been lit while we've been having our discussions, and as always, we're going to catch up.
Yeah, man.
And all that good stuff. So, Deputy Smitty, who will be joining us more frequently, Phil.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. He talks about Cole Kubelik's breakdown. He says, spot on about South Carolina so many times. He goes back and actually watches. Yeah, absolutely. And a good dude, too. I like that guy.
Yeah.
I like that guy. And, he said a lot of good things about Randy Clements being a good offensive line coach. And I believe him. If he'd have said Randy Clements was not a good offensive line coach, I would have believed that as well. But one thing I like, Cole hates slide protection and some of the more fancy stuff. He's an old lineman that they do these days. And so I'm wondering, and I have not asked him about this, I'm wondering if Randy Clements is kind of more old school and won his heart with that. I don't know.
Well, you got to kind of think so, because it's, there's a lot of that in this system, right? In that Brile system that comes from basically the high school level, and that is old school kind of football.
Yeah, as crazy and futuristic as the offense appears to be, it's really just kind of, if you block, if you play physical and run hard and block well, you'll move the ball most of the time. So there's that there. So Ghost says, I think the show has healing power, JB. He sounds better as he goes, still on point. He does.
Yeah.
Actually, he does. Doc says no one can compare with Lady Bree. Gosh, I forgot about that.
I miss Lady Bree. She's not
in the chat box.
Anymore. Not even on Wednesday.
So, Tristan always chiming in the Nana Sport. I mean, in the McKellar. I'm in mid-season form. Right?
That's right.
in the McKellar Enterprises chat box. He's always I call him tasty nuggets from Tristan, because Tristan's not gonna he's not like Lance or Craig or where it's the volume is there, but he's here every day, and when he sends something to the chat box, it's tasty. And he says Theo Vaughn, who I just don't listen to. I'm sorry. I'm probably in the minority. Y'all can get mad at me. I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's a very particularly good podcaster. He's just like a bro that sits on. I don't dislike him, but I don't. It's kind of like that the Royal Tannenbaums director that I don't like.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the category he's in. But anyway, he mentioned the other day that Diego Pavia, who he's tight with, obviously is about to play in Canada. I think it's good. Canadian Football League. Doug Flutie was a CFL superstar before.
Yeah, he fits in well up there. Like old Jared Lorenzen, like he could pack on some pounds and stuff.
I know. Jared Lorenzen's not with us anymore.
He's not. I know. R.I.P. Yeah,
R.I.P.
I remember Instagram dealt me up something about old Lorenzen. I forgot. He was a hefty lefty man.
Yeah. Alshon Jeffries or Alshon Jeffrey? It's Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Luke's coming in. I think he's being facetious.
I think so too.
Blake
Depends
says
on how old you are, though. Technically, there.
Yeah, the Kentucky game in 24 was the best game Blake's ever been to. 10.5-point underdogs, and we whooped them. That was the game after the ODU game. Yeah, I remember sitting there. So this day, I'll describe the day. This was my day, right? The Old Dominion game. Oh. And I was kind of, it was so bad. I was just kind of like, let's get to the next week. See what's really up. And it was that bad. I don't think I properly dealt with it because I am more pissed off about that game right now because I went back and wrote about Beamer's openers and all roads lead to offense and all that than I was then by a mile. So I'll describe the day. So Kentucky was double-digit favorite. They looked pretty good, against Southern Miss the week before. It was up there. Carolina had beaten them the year, like at the end of the previous year. So there were no surprises. Stoops was like, that's the worst loss I've ever taken. They should have won. They probably should have. That was the Sandstorm night. Kentucky was probably a better football team that year than 23 Gamecocks. But there was a little magic that night. Against Kentucky, and you got to go up there, and everybody. I think in 24, one of those guys predicted Kentucky to go 11-1. I think it was Chris Doring.
I think it was Doring that was real high.
11-1, and then their media KSR at some Wildcat Club thing is like, they were like, why can't we go undefeated? Blah 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 blah, and they got to South Carolina, they skipped right over it, said win. And so I'm thinking about it. I was like, the Gamecocks look like crap. You don't all, I remember one of the Holtz years, I think it was 03. Carolina beat Louisiana Lafayette 14-7 to open the season.
Mm.
And but then the next week, Virginia came to town. Now Matt Schwab was hurt, but Virginia was still 15th in the country. And Carolina beat them like a drum. And I don't even think it mattered if Schwab been there because Carolina just outmanned them physically, right? Just beat the crap out of them. So anything can happen week 1 to week 2, right? So I wasn't totally down. I was like, man, that's going to be tough because you got to. And then at the time, like I'm back to the point where South Carolina should beat Kentucky every single year. I don't care if Urban Meyer's coaching them. I mean, you should beat them every single year. You've beaten.
Yeah, you went mute.
South Carolina's always been a better program than Kentucky. They typically beat Kentucky. The Stoops era, he had Carolina's number, but at the end, he only ended up with like an 8-6 record against Gamecocks. After all that, there's no excuse. Kentucky takes South Carolina, the state of South Carolina's third-tier players, historically, and you pull for them when they're not playing South Carolina because you want them to do good. And other than that, they're a basketball school. Always will be. Respect their fans for showing up, but they're just that we don't. Nobody in the SEC needs them to be good, just like Vanderbilt, right? You don't want that. So anyway, so I'm back to there, but at the time I wasn't. So I remember, and I'm on a group text. And it is a Chamber of Commerce day in Illinois. We got to have a tailgating tent canopy. It's a nice one from Costco.
Yeah.
From the alien simulation. Set up out back, not a cloud in the sky. It's about 66 degrees, a gentle breeze out of the east. I'm grilling. I've got my TV set up outdoors, and Oklahoma State's playing Arkansas. And I'd taken Oklahoma State. And, so we were texting back and forth. It was me and Strickland and I think Flint and Jamie. And so the game starts. And I'm all nervous about it. I think it was a 7-6 game or something for a while. And I remember Lenore Sellers dropped back, fired the ball over the middle. I think it was Jared Brown that called a crossing pattern. It was like, and I was like, okay, here he goes. He got going. It wasn't a perfect game. But the Carolina defense was just lights out. That was kind of the coming out party for Dylan Stewart. So Carolina gets this really big win. They kind of looked like some of Saban from Alabama's earlier teams. I'm not saying talent-wise they were, obviously, but that style of victory where they just beat you into submission.
Right.
And a huge win. Stadium empties out, 31-6. And then the next thing you know, later that day, it's like, hey, game day's coming next week. Really? And so there was the whole reversal of fortunes for Carolina's football changed in 24 hours. You lost LSU the next weekend, but you go from, good Lord, you almost lost to Old Dominion and the offense is terrible, to, hey, you got enough offense, the defense may be elite, to, hey, game day's coming to town.
Game day's coming. That's right. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So that was good. So anyway, the 24 game, I had no idea what to expect. Sellers was young, took a few bad sacks and got hurt. Yeah, he was. And he had 3 fumbles on exchanges with Rocket. Yeah, the ball bounced their way. With Mississippi State's home SEC losing streak, Luke says the cowbells aren't working. I'm standing here in front of rock legend Bruce Dickens.
That's right.
And if he wants more cowbell, I owe it to myself and everyone in this band to give him more cowbell.
That is wild, though. They haven't won a home.
That's crazy because Starkville's a tougher place to play on the surface than Oxford is.
I mean, those fans show up. It's
I've been in that stadium twice. It's loud.
Yeah, I bet.
And you know what's crazy? The cowbells bother the crap out of me on TV, but they didn't bother me while I was there. I don't know why.
I can see that. I feel like it's a different experience in person, right? Because it's just this. I mean, every stadium in the SEC is a cacophonous, nightmare. So it's like it just kind of blends in. It's just a different vibe.
Yeah, and the sound itself. Now I'll tell you this. I wanted to commit some sort of verbal assault or otherwise at my stepson's games last year because I don't know, Lockport High School, I don't know what, there's no cowbell tradition. There were just two butthole parents that decided their thing was going to be to ring a cowbell at the games. They were the only ones doing it. And by God, I didn't really look at their face, because I'm walking up just trying to get to my seat, get it over with. And I guess the wife just wasn't looking out for me. And so I swear to God, not twice, 3 different times we just so happened to sit right in front of them.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, God. After doing shows all day, I don't want to hear that.
No, you don't want to hear that.
Especially when it's not part of the tradition. You're just a jerk. The kids don't care. Those kids don't care. They play Bon Jovi when they run out on the field, a song that's 43 years old, which in the 1980s, had you played a song that was at a high school football game in the 80s, to play you run on the field to Lawrence Welk in the 80s,
the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
Jeez, man. I got a lot to say, but in case the wife is listening.
Now, there is something about limited cowbells that is irritating as all hell. Like if there's only 1 or 2 and they're being clanged like you're saying there, that's awful.
At Mississippi State, it almost sounded like, this was not a pleasant sound after a week, but cicadas.
Yeah, right.
That buzzes. After a while, it got on my nerves, but anyway, Luke's eating Chick-fil-A chicken and waffles today. That's a heck of a combination.
Cornbread cowboy. That's
cornbread cowboy.
Yeah, he's not a fan of the chicken and waffles combo.
He commented on that.
I know.
Commented on that. Deputy Smitty's going to be in the Shane Beamer chat box. We should do a segment, top 5 psychos of the Shane Beamer press conference.
I'll leave it on today just to see if I can.
Let's pull the top 5.
I'll leave it on today again.
The top 5 nut jobs. Yes, that's going to be good. That's going to be awesome. We're going to do that. Brooks Austin did Marlar's podcast. Yeah, we're efforting him. Of course, Brooks Austin's now with Own 3. To give you another reason to subscribe to Own 3. We're still running the $29.95 for the year special, folks. And the home office, of the network. Once again, we're a locally owned business, but we do contract with them. So they kind of control the price points. It's going to run through Labor Day. So it's Labor Day weekend. So you still got time to get in. So Brooks Austin, the film guy who has some really good Lenore Sellers stuff out there, good and bad. He also will kind of shine some light on maybe some players that those of us that haven't gotten the all 22 and slowed it down and watched it like he can, you'll get another opinion about some players that is, and one of them or 2 of them still back this year. They need to, there's some hustle issues that pop up with it's just a handful of times.
Yeah.
But you notice it and you're like, and then you start thinking about like, you watch a guy, on offense that has like a receiver that has like 4 big catches, and you're probably thinking, like I am, he graded out pretty good. But then you watch all this other stuff where he whiffs on a block and doesn't even try or runs the wrong route, and then you understand why guys that make highlight plays sometimes don't grade out so well according to coaches. It's very fascinating. Anyway, he's part of On 3 now. Then we also got David Pollock today.
I saw Pollock on.
So David Pollock's going to be part of our coverage. George Wrightster joined earlier. That's a heck of a team. That's a heck of a team at On 3.
Yeah.
All folks that are truth tellers. And that's what On 3 does. There's no BS. It's all about the truth.
Yeah.
And like all this crazy crap with the NFL players coming back and stuff. Notice there's not a lot of opinion. Andy Staples is kind of the opinion guy. And I've read Andy's columns for years, and he tells the truth as he sees it. And whether or not you agree with his opinion, he backs it up. Right. And as a perspective of a former student athlete as well. So that's what I love that about On 3 before we went there. I was like, man, they're just reporting. which is what most, if you're in just the media part of it, which we're not, we're in entertainment and personality part of it too.
For opinion,
But if you're just media, I think that's the way to go these days because there's just so much crap out there. So here we go. Cowbells. Rogue cowbells are the worst, Bobby says. Oh, Bobby's kids play travel baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I could imagine that kind of crap pops up.
No.
No.
That's about as bad as an air horn, like just can't stand that either.
Gamecock depression. If anyone else had South Carolina's roster and didn't have Shane Beamer as a head coach, it'd be a top 15 team in the preseason. I don't even think it's Beamer. I think it's because it's South Carolina.
Right. It's just Carolina. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I thought the same thing. I'm like, you look at these other teams around the league and it's like they're loaded. And they replaced more guys than Carolina. If I looked at that depth chart for Alabama and it had South Carolina on it, I'd be like, I hope this Russell kid's elite.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're going to need this guy.
That's very similar. And I'm not saying Alabama's not going to be any good because South Carolina's had depth charts like that. They've been perfectly fine. But, I think you're on to a point there. I don't think it's, I think the people that want to hang everything on the head coach need to understand what the head coach's issues were and how he solved them. And go from there. Head coaches are not, I mean, if you're a head coach like Steve Spurrier and your offense is struggling, if you're a head coach like Will Muschamp and your defense is struggling, yeah. But head coaches like Lou Holtz and Shane Beamer, who are never, weren't offensive or defensive guys, you just need to hire good coordinators and then don't mess up. And I know that he's made some calls sometimes like punt or go for it or whatever that he probably would like to have back, but all those are 50-50 calls. Every one of them, every coach will do that. Nobody's Pete Limbo in 2022 on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know the head coaching stuff that's important, like establishing the culture, being the leader of the program, with the exception of offense before this year, hiring good coaches, recruiting. That's what head coaches do. I mean, head coaches that, like Dabo Swinney doesn't march on the field on Saturdays when he's winning national championships and, get on the sidelines on the clipboard and dial up something or sprinkle magic fairy dust on his team because he's Dabo and they win. He hired good people and recruited good players. So I think that's what people have to keep in mind is that this team, it's not hamstrung because of the guy on the sidelines, unless the guy on the sidelines is overriding assistants in a detrimental way, which I've seen happen before, but Beamer's not that type of coach, right? Mm-hmm. If anything, he probably should have stepped in earlier with some of this offense.
Yeah, right.
But I get it, Gamecock depression, I get it. Russell watched the press conference for the first time in the chat. He'll watch weekly now, man. It was wild. I know. Dexter says, I bet the first comment is about Stewart and Peak. Love people when people think they deserve to know the schedule for their return as a fan. There's a lot of mixed opinions on that out there with fans and stuff. And I chalk it up to this. The people that are kind of militant about it are just really, really passionate. And I think it bothers them to think about. It's like, just tell me. Just tell me.
Just let me know.
Just tell me.
Just tell me.
And if you think about it, I think, all right, so there's not really been an injury Beamer's mishandled. I do think that I do think he's, he tells you kind of what he can, but doesn't get into specifics. There's multiple reasons for that, and most coaches do.
Yeah.
I think two things. The one I kind of came up with, Rick Sandage, probably was not going to play. And he kept talking about him maybe playing. And he just, there's no way he was, maybe a miracle. And maybe I'm even wrong about that. Like the Juice Wells thing, That wasn't on Shane Beamer, man.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't on him, you know. And he never said he was going to play. Beamer always just kind of, maybe next week we'll have an update. Beamer never said the kid's going to play, and then he did. So
I think Shed Surratt maybe for the opener last year, because it was kind of assumed he was going to start, but he was a late scratch, so it's not like there was much to report, right? Because I think he got hurt in practice later in the week. Yeah.
Well, with concussion protocol, it happened the previous week, right?
That's right, concussion. Oh yeah,
you
that's
got to wait a certain number of days,
yeah.
and then they either clear you or they don't.
Yep.
So right on up to game time, he could have maybe played.
Right.
But that was a concussion.
I forgot that was a concussion. Yeah.
And so that was that. So, but yeah, I think these two players are so important, right? And nobody's really all that fired up about Beamer right now because of the losing last year, and I get that. And then, you know, everybody remembers how much it would have helped had Juice Wells played in 23, and then he didn't. And then, you know, and so you're probably just like, yeah, people are kind of lashing out because of their passion, because they're passionate about it. And then there's just psychopaths on the internet that think they can say anything they want. They're like children. I don't think some of these grown men that put that kind of stuff in the chat box understand how kind of whiny children they sound like.
It's funny.
It's like, I want my injury information now.
I deserve to know.
And so there's a fine line between being a passionate fan where it's respectful, that's just bothering you. Oh man, I just want to know. I just want to know. Oh, it's frustrating not knowing because you want to either accept it and deal with it because it's going to ruin your day, or move on. You know, that's the not knowing that's the problem because you're so passionate. That there's a difference between those people and the nut jobs. I want to make that distinction. You know, the nut jobs need to be banned from the internet.
Just completely.
The passionate people, you don't want to lose them as fans. You know, you just got to go with the flow on some of these guys. Harrison says Brooks Austin's the president of whatever the opposite of a fan club for Vendrevious Jacobs is. Dude ripped him apart in both seller studies. And frankly, he wasn't wrong. No, Jacobs.
Right.
Jacobs wasn't all that strong at things like blocking and route running and things like that, man. So, Gamecock Depression says, not a shot at Beamer, by the way, just based off national perception. He's not thought of as being very good. I know, and it really hasn't mattered if he's won or not.
No.
Maybe they're still buying into the not at never a coordinator deal. I don't know.
That's right.
He's been inconsistent. It's been a role. The Beamer era, unlike like the Muschamp era, which was kind of beat the teams that you should have beaten and then lost to the teams you should have lost to until you started losing to the teams that got better.
Right. Yeah.
And then that didn't work. That was kind of the Muschamp era. It's kind of steady and I don't want to say boring, but it just wasn't like there was never really, once they lost to Kentucky in his second year in game 3, you never walked in the stadium going, this is the night they pull a big upset against a big team. Maybe Georgia year 3 before kickoff there.
Well, yeah.
In 2018. With Beamer, you may as well show up. Because you never, they may win. You just never know.
Right. You have no idea.
That Tennessee game in his second year, that was nobody expected that.
No.
You just never know with Beamer. You just never know.
No.
Never know.
And you're taking these big teams to the wire here, even though the outcomes have not necessarily been the way you wanted them last year. But, it's like you just never know. You need to show up.
Showing up
might happen.
Steve Spurrier lost some games to teams he shouldn't have. Probably later in his tenure at Carolina. Like early on, he was much more like Muschamp. And then they pulled some upsets too along the way. So of all the tenures, I think Beamer's tenure here is much more like Joe Morrison's in a lot of ways. You know, because people don't remember this. Joe Morrison was here 6 years. He had 3 losing seasons and then went to 3 bowl games. And then his final season was like that Fury at Carowinds, the one that goes up to the sky that I'll never get on because it keeps breaking down.
Yeah.
And then, that season was like up to 6th in the country. And then, but his results have been much more like Joe Morrison's, I think, than any of the guys that replaced them. So, but it's a roller coaster. So, and I guess, I don't know. Even after Beamer had good endings in 22 and 23, they were just donkey coaches in those stupid CBS coaches rankings that are voted on by people that, you know, I mean, I don't know. You know what? You know how you solve that though? Kurt Signetti way. You just go win.
Just go win.
X-Man thinks Theo Von's funniest in conversation. Doesn't like his stand-up. I get it. No, seriously, don't. We can always disagree about stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Or hosts, especially. Because there's some people that I think are elite at podcasting and shows that I can't listen to because my ears don't like the way they sound. I don't like the way they sound. So that it's like music. So. True. X-Man says in-depth injury reports like the NFL. Yeah. I would. And the SEC kind of has that. So we'll see that. All right, Blake's got something funny about how his horse barn is similar. The population of his horse barn is similar to the chat box. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
When we come back. Don't forget, everybody go to the 4 Quarter Friday YouTube channel at 4 Quarter Friday on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for us. We've also got a 15-minute version of the Northwestern Huff game you can watch. And then don't forget about 4quarterfriday.com, your home for South Carolina high school sports. Going to be another big weekend. Burns versus Dorman. The Highway 290 battle this weekend. A lot of other good games coming up, too. So check that out. We'll be back to have the second half hour or second segment of Terrible Tuesday here on the show.
Subscribe to thebigspur.com. Proud partners of On3.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where every chance at a win comes with a chance of a whiff.
Wait, what? What does she have to be so happy about?
Well, quite a bit, Jeff. That face right there, that's a face that says fun. But when the game stops being fun and that face goes away, it might be time to take a break.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Mystery voice?
No problem, Jeff. Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you.
You know, in Gamecock Country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Mike here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Today and every day, we celebrate our great state of South Carolina. This week, our hometown highlight takes us to the PD in Lake City, home of the great Darla Moore and our friends in Johnsonville. We love the PD.
Hey guys, this is Mason West with the West Law Firm. We want to say hey to all our friends and family out in Lake City and the Johnsonville areas. This is a great football part of the state. we can help y'all out in any way. Give us a call, 843-897-7525.
Welcome back, everybody, inside the Gamecocks, the show. Final segment of the show here on a terrible Tuesday episode. We are about 21 minutes away from Shane Beamer's mock game week press conference. So he gets to, I like how they do like a dry run here. He gets Tuesday as a normal press conference. Then we actually have a note here from the athletic department that all three coordinators are going to be tomorrow. So we finally get all three tomorrow in their normal spots. Todd is back with Carolina Call. I miss hearing Todd Ellis's voice.
It just sounds like football season.
It really does. There's not much more to herald in the football season than hearing Todd. And it'll be good to have him back on the airwaves with Coach Beamer, live from back streets, I believe it still is, this year. So that'll be Carolina Call, 7 o'clock on Thursday. Friday is just, high school football in the air. I mean, it's here. It's week 0, which is the stupidest name for anything whatsoever. But
they changed it for high schools, by the way.
Well, see, I was looking at the South Carolina high school league website, and they still listed it as week 0. I was like, I thought they went to a week 1 because it was a hybridized kind of deal.
Well, then Smitty and Rob got it wrong.
They might. I mean, I'm not sure.
You got to change it, dude.
Yeah, the South Carolina High School League website. That's why I was like, I'm putting 0-1 on anything I'm doing on that side of things. This week will be 1-2. It's so stupid.
We have some news from the athletic department too. I'm going to get to in a second. Doc says, "Sorry, I still miss Bob Fulton. He was the voice." Yeah. I grew up with Bob Fulton. Carolina. Welcome to the Carolina Coliseum. This is Bob Fulton.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. This is Bob Fulton. Carolina's a high fly ball. I could get a Bob Fulton down if you give me some practice time, just like everybody else. I need practice. Todd calling the 55-yard line's an all-time winner. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and you always kind of, look, that play-by-play, I couldn't do it.
Oh, it's tough. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'd need the best spotter in the world. And I don't even like sound in my ears and hearing I get a headache. I can't imagine calling a game. So
no.
One of the better ones was that freaking the Missouri game. And it was a big win for Carolina. It was a Michael Scarnecchia game.
Yeah.
and Kyle Markway, who was at the time was an older player on the roster. I think he was 23 or something, 24. That was old for them. Now that's, common sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
And Kyle caught the ball and it was wide open. Great play call and great pass and good job. And he's like, he's down to the 23 years old. and I was like, I felt for it because I know what the brain was thinking. That's something I would do,
Mm-hmm.
But Todd, he's become an institution. He's one of my favorite players when I was a kid.
I mean, I got nothing against Todd. It's just some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth is really funny.
Yeah.
but he's our guy.
Yeah. Harrison says he's in Kentucky, Tennessee. He's in the Kentucky, Tennessee territory. Welcome to Kentucky, Tennessee.
Welcome to Kentucky, Tennessee.
I'm Buford Bumblenuts, your mayor. This is the sheriff. We just call him Oak. We don't even know what the hell his real name is.
No, that's right.
This is our county clerk. She ain't got no teeth. They fell out in the 80s. She sure makes a... Anyway, I go up 75. I go down 75 and up 75 if I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
All those towns in Tennessee and Kentucky, between Lexington and Knoxville. They're very interesting.
Yeah, that's some backwoods hillbilly stuff right there.
Yeah, I was through there late one night, coming back from Columbia, because I always try to make it to Richmond, Kentucky, right, where the Buc-ee's is to stay if I'm staying halfway. I was so tired. I walked in, get a Coke or something. And I go up and I was like, "Where am I? I'm in Tennessee or Kentucky?" Because I didn't remember past the state line. I'd say, "You're still in Tennessee, baby." Hey, baby, you're still in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, holy hair lip."
Whoa. Yeah, right.
Oh, gosh. She looked good, too. Like, if I were single and in a bar, I would sit down. I would try to flirt with this woman till she talked.
That's right.
Her teeth looked fine, too. I don't know.
Man,
I got them ninjas.
Yeah.
I got them ninjas, baby. You're still in Tennessee.
That's right. Until she popped them out on you later.
That may or may not be a good thing, Phil, depending on how the night's going.
Indeed.
Anywho. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Doc says Todd and Tommy are good, sometimes unintentionally funny. Just no one was better than Bob. His voice resonated in such a pro. You didn't like Charlie Mack? Put a Garnet 6 on it.
Yeah.
And then he switched it up. Kiss and hug the ones you love. Dude, the Garnet 6. Put a Garnet 6
on it. Put a Garnet 6 on it.
It's another Garnet 6. Kiss and hug the ones you love. It's touched. That guy, he was a pro. Charlie Mack was a pro. Yeah. He's the guy that replaced the guy.
I don't know why you got to have a tagline, though. You know, it's like the Yandity calls for up here, because I listen to those on the radio, too. But he was bad.
There's orange in the end zone.
With the orange in the end zone just drove me insane.
What does Munson say?
Oh, you know, I don't know if he's.
I quit listening.
I know.
When they started winning national championships, I was like, nah, I'm just not going to listen to them anymore. Back at the gym, I'd always turn on their broadcast as a kid.
I'll pull them up in my quad box or whatever, but I'll mute it. I'll listen to another game, just keeping an eye on what's going on up here.
All right, so Jeremiah Donati has announced leadership promotions. I think all these folks are on staff, but they've got new titles, probably a little more money, hopefully. The Executive Associate Athletics Director for Compliance, Risk, and Regulatory Affairs, that's Aaron Abbey now. And so that's compliance, basically. Clint Haggard, the trainer's executive associate athletics director for sports performance and wellness. Of course, he was a football trainer for a while in other sports. Tyson Lusk, really good guy. Fundraising. He makes a lot happen at South Carolina. Tyson's a good dude, and met him a couple of times. Executive associate athletics director and chief of staff. Nice. So he's like the right-hand man, the chief of staff. Maria Hickman's the Executive Associate Athletics Director, Senior Women's Administrator, and Director of Inclusive Excellence. She'll take over responsibilities for Title IX compliance and student-athlete conduct. And then Donati goes on and talks about awesome they are. They bring tremendous energy, integrity, and thoughtfulness to our leadership team. Leadership presence aligns with our overall strategy of leaning into this dynamic time in college athletics and ensuring we can best position ourselves and our teams for future athletic success. So it's good. Yeah, it's good. Those are all good people. So I like it. I like it a lot. So anyway, that's probably not the most exciting Gamecock news of the day, but somebody's going to trash it in the chat box on the Beamer press conference, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need gas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Dexter likes the "oh, hurt me" from Todd. TD says, as a fan, I'm very spoiled. I grew up in the Spurrier and Tanner era with Gamecocks men's athletics, minus men's basketball is very good. I've since learned the hurt and anguish that comes with being a lifelong fan. Yeah, like, Like, okay, so Alabama fans of a certain age that are like in their 20s.
I have zero clue.
Josh Pate calls them a trust fund fan base. They don't know the Shula era. They don't know the DeBose era, the Mike Price stuff. That Ray Perkins, Bill Curry. They don't know any of that. All they know is we win all the time.
We win.
And so, yes, it has to be hard. Now, I'll say this. That era, TD, you came up in, I didn't see them going backward. I thought they'd always be good at baseball. They've been good at baseball my whole life.
Yeah.
Since the 70s. I thought football, I still believe football, because there's some things Coach Spurrier was not necessarily good at. Like hiring coaches and roster management. And he wasn't at Florida either. I mean, that's just his MO. Some coaches aren't. They still win, and you still take them because they're hell of good coaches. But, I thought that, based on progress and what he built and the fact that if it weren't for some upset losses that Carolina suffered in those 11-2s, and I think he still regrets it, just listening to some of his interviews recently about the book that came out, The Spurrier Effect. You can purchase that on Amazon, by the way. Brent Sylvia and Kevin Miller, fantastic job on that book. You can tell it bothers him. It bothers all of us. But it was nothing against Coach Spurrier, but it's like, well, there's another step to be taken with this program. You hadn't kicked the door in yet. Yes, that's the high point, but with football, I think you could get there, and I think they still can. I think it's kind of a wilderness some programs have to go to, but here we are. There's more good players coming to Carolina than ever in football. So I think that, but so I didn't necessarily see it going back. Men's basketball, it's just been a cluster of mismanagement, and that's continued. But they got to the Final Four that 1 month. Honestly, let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest here. And I don't remember when baseball started getting hurt in 2023. When did Kingston, or was that 22? Whatever year they were like they beat LSU at home, they swept Florida at home. Kingston year.
I think that was 23. I think you're right.
Yeah. Whatever year, or was it 22? I think
22. It was not his last year. It was his second to last season.
Right.
Because it was like Petrie's freshman season. Yeah.
I don't remember, but that lasted about a month, right?
Right.
So let's be honest here. In 10 years since the end of Spurrier, when the thing started going south, 12 years. In those three sports, there's really been 3 good months when you break it down like that. Because we always think of things in terms of seasons. If you think about calendar months, there was the March run in men's basketball. Because if you remember, Carolina had lost to Alabama in the first round of the SEC tournament yet again.
Yep. Yes.
And they happened at 7 seed in Greenville and turned it on. The rest is history. That baseball run, before everybody got hurt that year, that was a good team. That was a super regional team. They swept Florida and all that at home. They took down Paul Skeens at LSU. I mean, dude, it was like Carolina baseball is back, baby. And then injuries happened. So that lasted about a month. And then in football, November of 2024, that lasted about a month. That lasted 1 month. Other than that, there's been some bright spots here and there, but that's it.
Man, I know.
So that's tough. So hopefully there could a lot of good months this year, right? Harrison said Tommy Suggs getting excited and stepping all over the call is best. The 3rd and 16 call is textbook example of that. Yeah, I'm all there. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Well, I would think something was wrong if Tommy Suggs wasn't doing it.
The killer himself, right?
I try to check. Somebody check on. Is he okay? I mean, I'll never forget Clemson 2006 after they won. The Clemson missed that field goal, broke a long losing streak. Tommy had this. Oh, I love the Cox.
Oh, I love
it. The Game Out Depression says, never thought anyone would get me to root for Dabo, but LSU might have done it. I'm leaning that way too. And I also, just from a football standpoint, would not be surprised if they won. You know why? Because there's justice in the world.
Right. I'm thinking there could be some
the football gods are not
retribution, right? Exactly. Yeah. The universe demands balance.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about two diametrically opposed philosophies on how to run a program, I mean, that's what's on display in week 1 between these two teams.
Yes. Blake lives in the land of Tennessee, Kentucky, Tennessee. That's just going to be a new place around
Kentucky,
here.
Tennessee. That's
He
going to
lives
be
in
the name
Kentucky,
of this
Tennessee.
episode. Kentucky, Tennessee.
It's like, that's exactly where I live. I can confirm my 5-year-old daughter has more teeth than 4 of her school friends' parents combined. Wow. Daddy-O says gumming it. Oh, man. Blake said, JC said what we're all thinking. All right. Doc says, no one will ever break the all-time interception record. Todd Holes, infamous and famous, is such a burden. He threw 73 interceptions.
I mean, right. You know,
who threw a lot of interceptions, though? Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Todd was that kind of quarterback, really.
That gunslinger, right?
Gunslinger mentality and all that good stuff. Krager says, I can't believe those teams haven't made Derek Scott quit yet. Poor guy. Oh, I'd be sad if Derek quit.
Oh, yeah.
I do think he's hugging. Did you see how happy he was? They're introducing Kevin Schnall.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of basketball play-by-play people around here have had to fight, but baseball, I mean, that just had to be because that's a plum job.
No, because that was the balance, right? Like, yeah. Like, oh, well, this basketball team stinks, but man, in February, we're going to crank up another one.
Crazy. Daddy SS compliance doesn't sound like a fun job. I think it's a lot more like, I think it's more fun now.
Oh, right.
Because I think it's just like, oh, there's no rules. There are. You're just there. Okay, well, anything goes. I'm open for anything.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, how long were you a professional? Come on down.
Pip on a blimp says, JC, talk louder. I could barely hear you on this tractor. Oh, man. Doc says, later to the lunch call, I had to finish my workout. Now homemade biscuits and sausage gravy. Why the workout first? Biscuits. Mm-hmm. You got any biscuits in there? I reckon. You got any biscuits in there?
You got any biscuits in there?
Uh-huh. Oh, man. I think Kevin's kind of the same, JC. Please correct me if I'm stupid, but the biggest plus to LSU is Kiffin and Baker. Yeah. I mean, Baker's a good D coordinator.
Yeah.
It's 23, Harrison says. 22 was bad
22
for baseball.
was bad. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was bad. Okay. Yeah, because Paul Maneri was 25 and 26. Yeah, I'm getting that confused.
Like that. Yeah.
The year changes. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, the year change.
Harrison says it was just 2 weeks, but the end of 2022 was pretty dang good. Yeah. And the first 3 quarters against Notre Dame were pretty good in the bowl, too.
Yeah. I mean,
And reality came crashing back. Oh, man. Lauren says she became a fan during the Spurrier years, too, so it's been rough. Yeah, I feel you, folks. It's been rough for even people that were in the 90s. It's never been this bad across the board. There's always some team that gives you hope.
Right.
Right. And when baseball's kind of down, because baseball should never get that down. There's no excuse for that. Like what Kingston was doing most of his last 21, 23, and 24. If they just kept doing that, that still is not good enough for that program. But it ain't nothing like what happened with Paul Maneri.
No.
And so that was just, and then it comes at the end too, when you're just clinging for any hope possible. Basketball is always this kind of tease.
Right.
Yeah. The expectations low. They suck. They're not good. They're just okay. If they'd have won these 2 games that were overtime games, they'd have made the tournament, but they didn't. They can't win in the SEC. And then boom, they'll have a 25+ win season and go to the tournament. Right. They're back. We're back.
And now it's even more tempting with the SEC on the rise as a conference as a whole. It's like, well, man, we don't even have to go 500 in the league and we can still get the tournament. And you're like, man, we just need to squeeze out like 6 wins. Like, okay. Like, all right, let's go. And then, it's been rough.
It has. Ghost says, talk about tough jobs. Brent on the post-game show had to deal with some aggravating drunks. I don't know who's on the post-game on 107.5. But
I'm not sure either.
But Mike Morgan used to have the post-game call-in show. And they're in the Holtz era. So Blake says, Jared Curtis is not getting the starting spot. It's funny. Kirby is laughing hard. Well, dude, I mean, look, I'm saying this. To heck with his 5 stars and his demands.
To heck with his 5 stars.
Clark Lee and the Kill Zone don't play that. Their job is to win football games.
Yeah.
And I seriously, with as intricate as that system is, keep in mind, Diego Pavia ran the system at New Mexico State, I think, for 2 years before he got to Vandy. Vandy did not line up and out-talent anybody. Their talent was better last year than it had been. That's why they won tickets. They out-executed them.
Yeah.
They out-schemed them. That's what you got to do at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, but that was not 4th year in the system last year.
Would not come up off that at all. If you can't run the system, you're not playing.
Right.
And I don't care if you go to, I mean, you may not even go to Georgia. Georgia's probably going to recruit somebody else over you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
But then they're like, he's going to play. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, you put him in as a change-up.
Yeah, I mean, that lends itself precisely to what you're saying, though. It was like he obviously doesn't have a full handle of how to run this offense, and because of that, he won't.
Doc is after my stomach here today, and then we got to get out of here, Phil. The Beaver press conference is starting. Everybody, get me some stuff from the chat box. We'll talk about it on Wide Open Wednesday. So Doc leaves us today with something from the hometown. He said, man, there's nothing better than the hash and heavy red from the Beacon. That's good. That red sauce and the slaw doused in the red sauce. We got that over Thanksgiving, man. I made my wife go through Spartanburg on her way from Charlotte to Greenville. We got Wade's macaroni and cheese, which I adore. And for Thanksgiving Eve night at my mom's, we got a bunch of hash and slice in the Beacon. And the red sauce. It's good stuff. Bobby says he's going to flood the Beamer press chat with pro ITG comments.
I can't wait to see when a random ITG comment comes out without, completely unprompted. I hope we make it beyond the first question this week.
John Edward ain't going to make that same mistake. No, he probably felt bad for it. That was not his fault, dude.
No, I mean, he started it, but it wasn't his fault.
It has a lot to do with, there's a lot of people that, you talk about rent free in your head. Yeah, that's those guys. I don't even understand it. They're fans. Why do you care this much?
Hell Rooster in their ITG is the best. Already on.
I love Hell Rooster.
I know, man.
All right, for the Mad Dog, Phil Mullinax, for Mike Morgan, Jamie Bradford, Preston Thorne. Tomorrow, David Cloninger, Chris Clark, Wide Open Wednesday. Just have a lot of fun tomorrow. We'll have some stuff to talk about from this presser. And we'll see you then. For the Mad Dog and for me, we're signing off.